Thank you so much. May the Almighty give you children, grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren. Thank you so much. Finally, they have a bank. So I want to thank them. That is the milestone one that we are going to celebrate. Because Cooperative Societies Act Cap 107, Section 49, says that there shall be a cooperative bank, Part A, and Part B says this cooperative bank shall be licensed and supervised by the central bank. So it is already created by Act. Now, we also thank Cabinet and His Excellency that in 2023, they passed a resolution that the cooperative bank should be established, and then our Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, Honorable Mwebesa Francis, appointed this committee, and the committee has been moving alongside the elders who give us the wisdom. And finally, we agreed on having it as a tier 4, and eventually it will grow. Dr. Muhumuza is a senior economist. I don't want to, that is his area, he'll explain more. Number 2, why are we celebrating? A lot has happened. Number 1, cooperatives are now providing they are employing Ugandans to the tune of 16% of the entire population. Isn't that a very big milestone? Cooperatives are contributing 2.68% to GDP. Isn't it a factual? That is a very great contribution. But we want to quantify it further. It must be more than that. Cooperatives are now providing trainings to many people, the general public, the membership, the leaders, the management, and others. So that is a very big achievement. Industrialization. Where is Ankole Coffee? Producers Cooperative Union. Do we have them here? The general manager is there. They are going to make a presentation. And you see how cooperatives have now ventured into agro-processing. They are processing products and exporting. We have those exhibitions there. We are going to see a lot has happened. Then you continue. It's a lot. We have achieved a lot. I always tell my story. In 2003, 15th of March, Saturday at 8 a.m., when I got my job in the circle as a cashier, you could never tell someone that you are a graduate working in the circle. They would think that you failed the exams. But today, cooperatives are employing professionals. Isn't that a big achievement? Cooperatives were taken for the poor and the illiterates. Now, are these people poor? The story has changed. Cooperatives are now for the people who know where they are going. People with a strategic vision. People who are tired of exploitation. People who want to control the economy. Those are cooperators. Are we together? So a lot has happened. The chairman is going to, in the statement, all those achievements are there. We want to thank our cooperative colleges. Are they here? Chigumba and Tororo. Oh, very good. They are all here. Thank you so much for providing cooperative training to Ugandans. We want to thank all our presenters who are here. Because I'm trying to rush. Presenters are here. Kindly stand up, beginning with our keynote speaker, Dr. Muhumuza. Want to thank you. Very good. Also, Professor Nwagaba has confirmed he will be joining us, Deputy Governor. We shall also give him a slot. Oh, very good. He's already represented. Then other presenters, we have Mr. Patrick Kinyaga, who is here. We have Professor Mindra, who is here with us. And others will be coming. Members, I will not take too much because we have a lot. The day is packed. Thank you so much for coming. You relax. Let us learn. Let us share. At the end of the day, we celebrate together with our president. We say thank you. Thank you. May the Almighty bless all of you. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you so much, General Secretary. A better round of applause for the General Secretary, Uganda Cooperative Alliance. Mr. Asimwe is so passionate about cooperatives. If you give him a mic, he can talk about cooperatives for a whole day. Very, very passionate. UBC, the big network. I'm told they are broadcasting live. Okay, thank you so much. Allow me, on behalf of the organizers of the National Cooperative Conference, to convey our apologies for those who have been inconvenienced because of the change in the venue. Remember, our invitations were saying Kololo ceremonial grounds, but we got some hiccups and we had to change and come here at Lugogo. So those who are inconvenienced and ended up in Kololo this morning, we apologize for that inconvenience. But nevertheless, we thank God that we managed to get an alternative venue for our conference. Also allow me to welcome Entebbe spouses of Soldiers Circle, the Air Force. The members, where are you? We want to recognize you. Entebbe spouses of Soldiers Circle. As Mr. Simo was talking about Wazalendo, I was thinking, how can I also join Wazalendo Circle? Afande, can I join as a civilian? Oh, in your remarks. Okay. I am eagerly waiting for that. Who doesn't want to be part of the biggest circle in Uganda? And even when Afande stands here, you really see money. So without wasting a lot of time, next on our agenda, we are going to have a keynote address from Dr. Fred Muhumuza, a seasoned professor of economics, a man that is very passionate about cooperatives. His words that he spoke to us during the International Day of Cooperative Celebrations in Fort Portal, they still echo in my ears. Professor Muhumuza, you have the floor to speak to us, to give us the keynote address. Let's welcome him. Let's welcome Professor Fred Muhumuza.
Good morning, cooperators. I want to save time and stand on the protocol as recognized. My friend and boss, Professor Mindra, happy to see you. She's the professor in front of me, so when she moves, I'll move into her slot that she occupies now. General Kavuma, it's very good to see you. It's a surprise for me to see you this morning, but I will discuss other things that we are working on in your other constituency, where we need your wisdom. I'm referring to General Kavuma here because my close interaction with the people in uniform is they have a different way of approaching challenges in life. They leave no margin of error. Economists will take assumptions. You go and plant your crops and say, I'm assuming it will rain. What if it doesn't rain? Now for a general, you don't assume and say, my gun will work. What if it doesn't work? So they have a lot of detail, and I want to encourage the cooperators, take this cooperation more seriously than just Wazalendo. Learn from them how to address every detail, especially knowing our past that has followed us in a number of difficulties. I was given a task of speaking to our topic today, driving inclusive and sustainable livelihoods through cooperatives for a better world. And there are many. I've seen a lot of border borders here. I want to inform you that I came to this meeting on a border. That's how critical they are to us, because sometimes it's easier to move around. People have demonized them. I was asking my friends in the reports who say borders are responsible for 15% of the crimes in the country. And I'm like, but who is responsible for the other 85? Can we look for the 85 first before we single out these other ones? But that's the analysis where you leave no room for error. You need to look at every detail of it. So really, borders and all of us as cooperators, a livelihood is really looked at as a combination of capabilities and assets. How do you put together your assets and capabilities to earn a living and secure your life as an entity, both now and in future, and that's why we're talking about sustainability. We're looking at your skills, we're looking at your land, we're looking at your money. We already have had a lot of money, and I'll be speaking to the cooperators that during the time of the vacuum, when we were not operating as a bank, circles which should have been our members emerged, and now they are somewhere. We are not going to force them to come back, but we can convince and work towards them making a decision to come back. This is a large membership. Some of them are already with us, and they are certainly going to be there. And I hope, Mr. Ivan Asimwe, you have already ring-fenced the name National Cooperative Bank. You don't want to get there and some whom has patented it. And then I will ask you for $1 billion to release it. So I hope you have done those details. They do happen. So livelihoods is more than just a job. It's more than what you simply do for a living on a daily basis. It's also about those assets and strategies you put in place. Do you have cows? Do you have goats? Do you have a shop? Is it a kiosk? Have you diversified it to add on some other? That is really your livelihood. The things that give you ability to survive and live a gainful, fruitful, and meaningful life. So I'm talking about diversification because it helps you. If there is a challenge in one area, you can survive in another area. So you want to be a crop farmer, but what else are you doing as an individual, but also as a household, as a family? Have we built enough supportive institutions across all the entire chain of what you do? We are talking about borders here. One of their challenges is theft. So what is the relationship between border community and the police? What is the relationship with the network providers so that you can track? People who are giving us the technology to track our systems. So even us as farmers, who offtakes your product? You have cows, you sell milk, but you're not in the business of moving the milk or even processing it. So one of the challenges I want to leave with us this morning, as we set up the National Cooperative Bank, we should not just only support the cooperators, but those who support the cooperators, who is banking them. You don't want your cooperators to produce their coffee, their beans, and then the person who was exporting them collapses because the bank that financed that person did not do a good job. All the cooperators will suffer. So even as we design products for the cooperators, let's also design products for those non-cooperators and finance them, or at least engage those who finance them. And I'm privileged here to see the banks in this hall, because we are not going to be competitors, we are going to be cooperators with Centenary, with ABSA, with Stanbic, with every other bank that is going to be Postbank. And by the way, I've been reading in your book, once you get to tier 2, you are allowed to use the title bank. Postbank is in tier 2. They are Postbank. Pride Bank, they are not yet in tier 1. So you have a shorter journey to get the title bank. But that shorter journey is about 125 billion minimum capital, which you can raise. Really, these circles already have a lot of money. My friends in Wazalenda, I know, they are one of the 8 biggest microfinance or whatever circles in Africa, not just here. Quite big. So you can get there with a focused strategy. So we are saying the status of livelihoods, and I'm not using the word poor deliberately. It's low income. Poor sometimes simply comes to kind of put you into a category of a poor person. You know, like they will say abayaye, biruma abayaye. Even in homes at one point I can be a muyaye, because I have pains that I have, but not a muyaye in the literal sense of the way we have used it. If I turn up at a health facility and there is no doctor, chinuma. So there are things that hurt citizens, things that hurt cooperators, and they need to be addressed. And that's what Cooperative Alliance, Cooperative, Uganda Cooperative Association are about. The organizers are trying to do an upgrade.
Sorry for the interruption.
Software.
We have received some complaints from most of the people who are behind. They cannot see Professor. And usually when you want to take in the message very well, you want to look at the person who is speaking. So we are shifting him for the podium to go up so that everyone can be able to see Professor as he speaks. That is the interruption, yes.
It's okay. This speaks to what I was saying. There are people who their pain was they couldn't see me, and they have expressed it. So that's what we want to be, cooperators who cooperate to offer solutions. I also want to see you, by the way. It's only when I'm with the general government that we take cover. But here we're supposed to be visible and solve our problems together. I was really saying that when the bank comes into play, my key message is we are not going to be a bank like the other banks. Because this is a cooperator's bank. So we're not just interested in lending you money and say, where is your title? So that when you fail, we take the title. You are a member. You are a shareholder. This is our bank. But that notwithstanding, we cannot just allow you to go and disappear with our money because you messed up the investment. So we are going to work and do everything possible to say everybody who has been lent money has also received the adequate information to manage that business. We are going to work with you. We are partners in this. We are cooperators. If you come and say I want to do a poultry project, we will sit you down and find out how much do you know about a poultry project. Give you the knowledge you need. Where are you going to get the feeds from? If there is that other provider of seeds who is not financed, we bring them on board because you need them for that survival. So the cooperative bank that we are working towards and we are launching today is a journey that will not just be a provider of money to you, but as well as knowledge and skills and supportive frameworks that you need for a livelihood that is sustainable. Because a livelihood talks and looks about very many other things. Our concern is you'll be able to provide yourself with the basics of food, of shelter, of health, and decent shelter is what we're talking about. This Mama Ingia Paul is not a residence for permanency. It is for war. It is for operational purposes. But your home should be a decent home, and this is what we are looking forward to. And we are going to task the managers of the cooperative bank to track progress of members. And this should be among your reports. Don't just report like other, this is the profit we made, this is the asset base. We also want to hear, we have members who have graduated from small to medium. Here they are. Social accountability and social responsibility is something we'll put on this bank. After all, the central bank has adopted ESG. Economic, social, and governance, we need some of these aspects to come into your play. So the state of the low income, we are starting with people of low incomes, but also we are vertically integrating them with those of high incomes so that we can be able to deal with inequality, so that we can be able to build resilience. Because we know there are people at the bottom of the pyramid who borrow to just meet the basics of life. They are not borrowing to invest. They are borrowing to pay fees. They are borrowing to maybe put a shelter for themselves, not a commercial house. They are borrowing to treat their sick. This is what has been happening in many of the circles. That need needs to be met, but we need to be adopting what we call graduation models under BRAC. And I want to encourage you to be as close to BRAC as you need or as you should be to learn from their graduation model. Because we are dealing with the same constituencies. As we've said here, we are not competitors. We are cooperators amongst ourselves, but we also want to cooperate with those who are in the same space where we operate. We want to see what takes away a cooperator's money. We have lent you money, you have raised your goats from 5 goats, you are now on 17 goats. Then we come back next year to assess progress, we find you with 7 goats. What happened to the others? Now, quite often from the academia, we have found that people move back and forth because of certain shocks and hardships in life. What is the state of the hospitals in your area? Because if they are not functioning, you are going to sell some of the goats to treat the child. So we are not just going to run as a bank, but as cooperators, and cooperate with whoever is involved in making sure we run viable, sustainable livelihoods. What is the state of roads? What is the state of public administration in the area? We have been suffering with thieves. You wake up one morning, your coffee has been harvested, and you are a corporate, and the bank expects you to pay back. How do you pay back? So what is the state of security? We need to work with others to make sure the environment for this bank is stronger, is improved, and we are all as members keeping it together. So we have a cooperative that addresses a common goal, and I've said vertical and the horizontal integrations and relationships. The low income come together, they form their cooperative, then they join with the high income, the big banks, the small banks. The big individuals should also come in and be members. I was about to say, weren't people so ambitious to say minimum is 1 million? I said, but that is going to help us to integrate, to raise this minimum. We are going to run a bank. A bank is not for the poor. That's why you saw me in Fort Porter was telling people, a bank is not for the poor. If you come as poor people, the central bank will not allow you to run the bank. So you must walk with elegance, with respect, with confidence, as you go and say, we are the shareholders of this bank. And I know we can do it, because we have what it takes. I have seen Ugandans out there with 2,000 heads of cattle. Can we go and recruit them to become part of our cooperative movement? If they are not. Each cow is 3 to 4 million. So some of these can buy many shares. So we are able to do this bank and run it. I want to emphasize that the bank is more than a lender. The bank for cooperators should not just be about money. Feel free to walk into this bank just to get advice. I am in this business, I have my own money, give me advice. And I want to challenge the cooperators that in this bank, put there an advisory desk in the banking hall. Let people simply come to ask for advice. Let's do knowledge generation, which will also pass through our other channels, because the bank is just one of the channels for the Cooperative Alliance and the cooperative movement in Uganda. Let's continue to send messages through our cooperatives to our members. Those of you in cabbages, what should you be doing? Those of you in tomatoes, what should you be doing? What is the good brand? What is the market requesting? Because many times we produce and we have no idea what the market wants. Anybody who has done economics in senior 5, that is where it begins. The first question they ask you are kind of really 4 questions tied together. What do you want to produce? Secondly, for who? How do they want it and when? So don't produce katogo for breakfast and you do it at midnight. The when. But katogo is for who? Are they in that area? So gauge your market before you get into production. But also don't produce something that is too expensive for your market. If your salon is near university and you want to be charging 10,000 per haircut, you are going to get nobody. Those fellows pay 2,000, 3,000. So that allows you to say, how do I produce it? Tondinyira is a very good strategy, because there are no tables for eating down there. You get your food. These days they don't even have plates. The food is put in kavere. That is how do you produce it. Because they know very well, if I put tables, then I'm going to increase the price per plate. My customers will go away. So the cooperative bank is going to help its members to understand markets better and design the right products and the right production approaches. Then we'll be able to succeed. So this knowledge, the bank should have a research arm that generates this knowledge and passes it on to the cooperators so that they know what they need to do and go ahead and do it. We must provide products that are fit for the members. Somebody who is in a goat project, it deserves another product than one who is in poultry. And if poultry is for eggs, it's different from poultry for broilers, for meat. Those ones take longer for you to sell. Eggs, you'll take longer before you touch the money. So what kind of loan do you want to give to each of these individuals? Advise them on how they are going to sustain. But also you are borrowing to do what? If it's to borrow to build a shelter, do you have the money to buy the chicks and feed them for 6 months before you get the first egg? This is the advice I'm talking about, that we're going to be making sure we address all the detail the way the military people do, leaving no stone unturned. Before you start your journey, we need to be there as cooperators to cooperate with you to make sure you are going to succeed, because your success is our success. And that's going to be the spirit of us as we move through the bank that we want to put out there. So capital funding should be informed also by how do you intend to finance the overheads, the day-to-day spendings, so that you do not bring a danger to the cooperators bank. This bank, I am glad we have resolved ourselves to restart it, and we are starting it. The thing I didn't like with the people is we want government to help us. It is your bank. Start it. So thank you for taking a bold step. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. You have taken that bold step. Congratulations. And Tier 4 is the best place to start. It allows you to learn. It allows you to grow. But don't lose sight of the goal. The ball starts in the center, but everybody is moving towards the goal. Sometimes it actually starts with the goalkeeper to get to the goal. So the word bank, we are not going to drop it. I know the regulator should be kind to us to allow us use it as our goal. So whenever we're talking about this entity we are launching today, we want to keep attaching the word bank so that we don't lose focus on where we want to go. I want to challenge us to foster innovation. Banks and lending and the whole economy is moving faster through innovation. There are things that have evolved out of creativity of small NGOs. Mobile money began in Kenya because they were lending very small monies and incurring big cost to go and check on the borrowers. You are going to collect money, the borrowers are ready to pay back, but the cost you put in is more than what you're actually going to collect. So they approached the British DFID at the time. They said, can we creatively see how we can use other systems to collect our money? The British were kind enough, they gave them £150,000 years back, and they creatively designed what we now know today as mobile money. So become innovative. How best can we support our members to overcome the challenges, the difficulties that are going to come before them? How do we want to cooperate with the Agricultural Research Institute to overcome the diseases that are harassing our crops and livestock? Build resilient business systems that are efficient and cutting down costs. I've spent the last 2 weeks in Nigeria and Ghana, and they have what they call mini grids. They provide electricity by solar, but they monitor through software. They will even help you if your kettle is about to blow. It should not disconnect the entire house or the entire village. The software will detect and switch you off. And the person will fix it from wherever they are. They don't have to come. Because what they have realized is having physical people on the ground is expensive. And that passes into the cost of the institution. So this bank has got to creatively find ways of serving its members. We are not setting up a bank necessarily to create employment. So I don't want to come and find you with 2,000 members in the bank. But I want each member in the bank will be serving 20,000 members out there using digital platforms. And we are all going to learn on how to link up with this. I sit and chair the board of Vision Fund Uganda. We are even supporting our members to get smartphones because our business is digital. We are running branchless banking. You only come to the branch if you must. So our loan finds you there, you track it there, we track it there. So we want to support our members to upgrade to digital, both in terms of technology and the knowledge they need, so that when you want to apply to solve a problem on your farm, you don't leave the farm to the birds to come and apply for a loan, get a loan. By the time you come back, the birds have eaten the rice. No, stay on the farm and the loan will find you there. Excuse me. So these are the things I'm looking at. I want us to partner with government. We have worked over the last 7 years, now 5 years of implementation of the parish development model. Look at all the stakeholders in the 7 pillars of the parish development model. Government has pillar 3 for financial services, but it's little money. But that does not mean the other pillars do not work. As we've talked about livelihoods, we need to educate our children. That's why you're working. That is in pillar 4. Is there a school functioning in your area? Cooperatives, let's pick interest in the education system in our communities. You may get money and send your child to Budo, Kitende, and I don't know where, Namasagali, Ombachi College. But what if the school in your locality was functioning? You would save a lot, you would learn a lot, you would supervise a lot. Your child also would learn from what the family is doing as family business. So let's pick interest in pillar 4, which is education and health. Those facilities are key. Let's pick interest in infrastructure. The roads, the community roads, they are the ones you use to bring in inputs. They are the ones you use to take out your produce. Pick interest with the administration and see how those culverts, those bridges can be sustained for you to survive as cooperators. Because those will raise the cost on you and make you a non-viable and not sustainable in your livelihood as a journey. So each one of us should pick interest in the parish development model, not necessarily to be members, but to say what is happening to the other pillars. What is happening to the security? What is happening to the administration? So we want to pick interest among those coordinators and we work with them. As I come towards the close, I want us, as I've said, to graduate our members right from ideas. As I've said, don't just come to the bank to borrow money. Also come and say, I have an idea. But which idea you can actually nurture in the cooperative where you sit, attend those meetings with interest, ask the questions. If you have a challenge with your production area, if you have a challenge with marketing, if you have a challenge getting the right inputs, ask so that the cooperators will amalgamate those issues and take them to the relevant stakeholders to address them. And then we'll be able to graduate our ideas into big tasks. I was watching a documentary of people who have graduated with a myoga. And they have moved on. They now need more space, they need more money than a myoga could give them. And they have graduated into other bigger banks. Now for us, we want to graduate with our members and also partner with other service providers in the different capacities, including finances. So we're going to be tracking how do we nurture and grow our members by learning from even those with an idea, but don't borrow money to throw it at an idea. As I've said, many of us in economics, we simply take assumptions. You want to discuss that idea so that it is crystal clear what is it that I want to do. Don't walk in the dark. Don't walk and assume. Don't just cook chapatis and say people will come and buy them. What if they don't come? What is your fallback position? What is your alternative? What else can you do? How do you improve your chapatis? You had me here in Fort Porter, I was reminding people, KFC is not chicken. It's KFC. It's branded. So what is it that is going to make Muhumuza come to buy your product? What is that unique selling aspect you're putting into your business for us to put in there? So let's learn from our peers to build these sustainable livelihoods, to sustain our bank. We don't want to bring our bank down. It has happened before. We want to raise our bank. It is our bank. I want to end with a comment on regulation. We always say comply with the regulator and complain later. But I want to say it's not about complaining. Comply and then contribute. This is my last slide. The one moving my slides, I'm on the last one. Comply and contribute. And in the process, you are going to find some regulators and some regulations really hinder your business model. First comply, then contribute ideas. How do we amend or readdress this regulation? So that the regulation is not to be encumbering to your business. Regulators are concerned so much with the safety of the institutions, safety of other people's monies. This is your money, but we're still going to be concerned that it is cooperators' money, so the cooperative, the National Cooperative Bank, must not fall with its members' monies. So the regulator is going to be strictly looking at that. But at times the regulator can be so strong and strict that he fails to adopt what I like with the police. Many times I'm stranded, the traffic is red, but the police are saying, guys, come through. Regulation with realities on the ground. What is on the ground? So we want a regulator that nurtures us. And I want to assure you, where we are starting in Tier 4 was exactly meant for that. We are in the right place as we begin our journey. An area where the regulators listen to you, adapt and adopt ways, encourage you not to go overboard, but to continue moving forward, addressing the issues and challenges that you have. By the time you get to Tier 3 and Tier 2, you will have learned your baby steps. But even there, we are there to help. I've been a member in the banking sector at the supervision level in those boards, and we have sat with regulators to give us some room to address some issues, and they have listened to us. So as I've said, comply, then contribute ideas as a cooperative bank. The BRAC I am referring to, which I really want us to work closely with, besides the other banks, has a university in Bangladesh to generate knowledge for their business. This university is one of the best I have learned from. Every student I teach for the last 15 years has had to go through what they call the BRAC graduation model. It's a one model of nurturing people out of poverty, out of subsistence living, into sustainable, viable livelihoods. And we have used part of this to inform the parish development model. And in general, we are going to bring the BRAC people to begin to see how we incorporate their ideas into the second phase of these 5 years of rolling out and implementing the parish development model. So for them, a university helps to study the challenges, send back solutions, and here we are, Professor Mindra, this is her assignment. Working with us, picking the challenges, bringing them to the university. Even me, I am here, my neighborhood is here, that's why I could come on a border, short journey. We are here as the Makerere University Business School to work as a teaching hospital. What do we mean? It's a hospital, treats the sick, but it also teaches. So we want to work with you, and there is an Aga Khan hospital here that has emerged. It's another teaching hospital. So let's work together and bring these models. Whereas we are dealing with challenges of people, we are also informing the knowledge and bringing the knowledge back. This is going to be a game changer for the country, and I want to believe we are right on course. Whatever that needs to be done, we are here as academicians, we are here as personalities to become cooperators and work with you. I'm just waiting to buy my shares. Thank you very much. Who is selling the shares? Let me know when the desk opens. I want to be in front of General Kavuma.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Professor. Please, let's give him a round of applause. This was a real lecture on how we are going to manage our national cooperative bank. Professor, we appreciate you. Thank you for imparting knowledge in us. You've never gotten tired. We learned a lot in Fort Portal during the celebrations of the International Cooperative Day, and today your focus was so much on how we are going to ensure that this national cooperative bank that we are launching today is actually going to stay. You've talked a lot, but there's something that you actually mentioned, that this bank was there before. It collapsed. We are bringing it back. Let us not be the same people who are going to take it down. It is our bank as the cooperators. So the onus is on us to ensure that this national cooperative bank actually works. The biggest part of Professor's message was directed to the managers of this bank, those who are going to be in charge of this bank, and also to you, the members, the cooperators, who are going to buy shares, who are going to borrow from this bank. He talked about borrowing to do serious things, not going to the cooperative bank to borrow to go and marry a second wife. Going to the bank to borrow is more important. Wow. Someone is saying that marrying a second wife is more important. You must be a Hajj. Very interesting. Anyway, we received complaints from some people that the English language is quite complicated for them. But being that we are from different regions in the country, I don't know which language we can use to be able to interpret Professor's message. You can be able to advise us. Which language can we use? We continue. Others will catch up slowly. Okay, looking at our time, it's fast spent. Our next item on the agenda, we are going to go for a break to have our breakfast. We are going to use 30 minutes to have our break tea, and then we continue with our program for the day. The UCA team, Uganda Cooperative Alliance team, please help to guide where the people are going to take their breakfast. I'm told the VIP, there's a tent. Please, Madam Justin, help us to guide where the VIP are going to have their breakfast from. And then the rest of us, there's a tent behind us. That is where they have prepared our breakfast from. So UCA team, please guide. We are going to be back here. I'm looking at my time, it's 11:20. So by 11:50, we should be back here to continue with our program. Thank you so much. Enjoy your break tea. Crane performers, as we go for the break tea.
Now, people see, in order to manage time, we can make it a working tea. Let people pick one by one as the program continues.
I have been guided by the organizers that in the interest of time, let's make it a working tea. Yeah, let's make it a working tea. So when you get your cup of coffee or tea, please come back to the tent so that we can continue with our program. Let's give you at least a bit of 10 minutes to pick it. In the next 10 minutes, we are going to continue with our program. So crane performers, just 10 minutes, and then we continue with our program.
For 40 years, your trust has been our most valuable investment.
We have turned your savings into investments, delivering returns that grow with you.
We are driven by innovation, defined by convenience. So wherever life takes you, your fund is right there.
Mommy, look. Because we are in the business of changing lives today and shaping tomorrow.
Join us for the 13th annual members meeting.
Happening 22nd September 2025, starting at 9 a.m. live on TV and online to discover a steadfast performance guided by accountability and built on transparency. Visit www.nssfug.org/AMM 2025 to register your attendance. NSSF, a better life.
Father Joseph Muchibi, the Director of Communications and Public Relations, Kampala Archdiocese. Dear people of God, may the mercies of God be with you always. On behalf of His Grace, Apostle Mogerere, the Archbishop of Kampala, I convey warm and Christian greetings to the general public. Lubaga Cathedral, the seat of the esteemed Archdiocese, has made a centenary jubilee since her consecration in 1925. This is a sign of God's presence and mercy among His people. The centenary celebrations will take place on October 26, 2025, and will be guided by the theme, "The temple of God is sacred, and you are the temple." The Most Reverend Apostle Mogerere implores all people of God and goodwill to pray and generously contribute towards the preparation, faithful and successful celebrations of this sacred memorial event. For financial support, use Centenary Bank. Account number 31 00 11 71 79. In the name Lubaga Cathedral at 100 years. May God bless your generosity as you donate.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years. Out of the blue,
the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't go low.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Good morning. God is good. And all the time. Thank you very much, honorable government officials, General Kavuma, distinguished readers of Uganda Cooperative Alliance, led by the General Secretary, Mr. Ivan Asimwe, fellow cooperative champions from across different regions of Uganda, and anyone who is outside Uganda, development partners, academia, private sector leaders, banks, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. So as I have been introduced, my name is Patrick Nyaga. My current role is a group managing director and CEO for CIC Insurance Group. And CIC Insurance Group actually is a cooperatives insurance. At the head office in Nairobi, CIC Insurance Group is owned by cooperatives 75%. So, and the balance of 25% is owned by cooperatives directly and individual members of the cooperatives. So, a very, very good company in terms of cooperatives presence. And therefore, when I stand here, I'm happy that I'm standing among the cooperators. CIC Insurance Group is in 4 countries currently. It's in Kenya, in Uganda, in Malawi, and in South Sudan. So we are in 4 countries, and in all those countries, we have taken the same model, where the co-shareholder is intended to be the cooperatives. Before I talk more about the bank and the cooperative bank that you want to start, I spent about 17 years in the Cooperative Bank of Kenya. So it came from a Ross position to a number 3 position currently in East Africa, and also actually the largest bank, cooperative bank in Africa. I had Dr. Fred Muhumuza, the keynote speaker, talk about all the challenges as farmers, as agri-based economy, as small medium enterprises, as border people. You have challenges with how to make sure that you manage risks, and therefore your businesses do not go down, or your cows do not have challenges. If a cow dies, then the livelihood of a family is cut short. And therefore, with all that, CIC has a lot of products that take care of all those issues. And they will help the farmers and all sectors of the economy to be able to de-risk their portfolios. It's with great honor and profound humility that I stand before you today at this historic National Cooperative Conference 2025. As we reflect on the event today, I'm thrilled that we are here to nurture another kind of independence, and this time it's economic independence through the power of cooperation. And I think as cooperators, we know that. To the Uganda Cooperative Alliance, I extend my heartfelt congratulations not only for organizing this milestone conference, but also for the remarkable achievement of launching the National Cooperative Savings and Credit Society Limited, and ultimately the Cooperative Bank of Uganda, the foundation of what will become Uganda's National Cooperative Bank. And we are saying this is not just a financial institution being born, it's hope and significant ambitions being concrete, taking concrete form and shape. Let me give a bit of a history about the Cooperative Bank of Kenya, because that's exactly the journey you're about to embark on. But I wanted to illustrate something small to the many members of cooperatives who are here, and maybe the many that you left behind in your respective homes. As a smallholder coffee farmer, it can be from Mukono or from Kasese or from other parts of Uganda or even in Kenya, like millions across our region, you have dreams, you have bigger dreams for your circumstances. I can take a specific example of one who wanted to expand her farm, send her children to university, lift her family out of the circle of seasonal poverty that had defined generations before her. Of course, traditional banks saw her as a risk. No collateral, no formal employment, no credit history that fit the templates we would have in the normal banking organizations. But her local cooperative saw something different. They saw her 20 years of farming experience, her reputation in the community, and most importantly, they saw her potential. Through her cooperative savings and credit society, she accessed her first loan. Today she owns 5 acres of high-yielding coffee, employs 12 people during harvest season, and her eldest daughter just graduated as a nurse. When asked what changed her life, she simply said, "The cooperative believed in us when no one else would." And I think this is a dream for us today as cooperators. When you're starting the cooperative banking, it's not just about money, it's not just about lending, it's just a mountain of possibilities. A bit of experience we got in Kenya on the cooperative bank. The bank was actually started in 1968 and by the coffee farmers. And at the time, the bank or the farmers were not able to raise enough capital. So they went to the government and they were given 500,000 Kenya shillings. And I think if you multiply that relatively by about 30, that is about 1.5 million Uganda shillings. That is what they used to start the bank. Cooperatives continued to grow and the bank did the same. In a period of time, the bank was able to pay the government loan and therefore became 100% owned by the cooperative movement. However, over time and because of the need to grow, cooperatives could not be able to continue funding the bank. And therefore the bank was listed in the Nairobi Securities Exchange in 2008, where they raised quite a bit of capital to be able to expand in terms of branches, in terms of buying huge equipment for systems and all that. I think the most critical thing here, members, is when the bank listed in 2008, they realized that this bank can become bigger and bigger, and when the cooperators see it as a big bank, they can easily sell their shares. And you know, sometimes when you're hungry, you can sell something for your birthright. I think it's in the Bible. So the way the bank was listed is by creating a cooperative, a coop holding structure where all the cooperatives were housed together and they own the bank 65%. There are over 3,800 cooperatives, with some of them with 100,000 members, 10,000 members that own the bank. Now, for you to sell, for you to sell the share out of the 65, it means each and every 3,800 cooperative societies would have to do an annual general meeting or an extraordinary general meeting to be able to sell that share. And you'll see the reason why. So it makes it very difficult for the cooperatives to sell their light from the cooperative bank, because that is very important. Otherwise, you'll have taken a lot of time to grow the institution. Only when you think it's valuable enough, you sell it, then you lose your birthright. So that is the structure that was kept, and I thought that is important even for Cooperative Bank of Uganda, so that when today you are struggling to start it, but tomorrow when it is doing very well, the people who will come after you can be tempted to sell. And once they sell, all the hard work you had done will go to waste. So that is what the Cooperative Bank of Kenya did, and that's why it's probably surviving till today. So The Cooperative Bank has significantly grown, of course, with quite a number of challenges. Like you would know, every business will have challenges. But it's a statement of vision and resilience over the 5 decades that the bank has actually operated. What started as a modest institution serving farmers' cooperatives has evolved as the largest cooperative bank in Africa, third largest bank in East Africa, with total assets of over 800 billion Kenya shillings. That is about US dollars 6.26 billion, and about Uganda shillings 21.6 trillion. So that's the size of the bank today. Of course, the customer deposits, majority of who are from Cooperatives, 545 billion. Net loans, yes, we said lending is not the only thing that you can do with a bank, but it has been able to lend over 390 billion Kenya shillings. That's probably about 10 trillion Uganda shillings. The shareholders, who are 65% direct cooperators, own about 4.2 trillion UGX in shareholders' funds. The bank has over 190 branches, 558 automated teller machines. I think another thing that probably the Cooperative Bank of here will consider, it has over 23,000 agents. And these agents are actually, majority of them are cooperatives like yourselves. And you earn from that agency. So the bank collaborates very well with the cooperatives to be able to offer services of the bank through the agency network. Of course, that will be looked at from a regulatory perspective, and mainly uses what we call FOSA, front office savings activity for the cooperatives. So the bank is also, distributing its products through 23,000 agents, majority of whom are cooperative societies. I think what we can say is numbers only tell part of the story though, because the real success lies in the model itself. Cooperative Bank is owned by over 3,800 cooperative societies, representing millions of ordinary Kenyan farmers, small business owners, teachers, entrepreneurs, from the armed forces, the police, and everybody. So it's actually ownership cuts across every sector of the economy. The ownership structure creates an inclusive model that makes success a must, because its very owners depend on its success. The cooperative institutions are also the major customers, ensuring mutual benefit and more so growth to both the bank and cooperators. I think the other very good thing, members of the cooperatives, is the governance model. The governance models is through delegates, so decisions are made by different delegate forums, but not maybe outside, it's within the country, so all your decisions will be here. And it's run by representatives from the very communities that the bank will be serving. So this creates an accountability loop that traditional banks simply cannot match. So the experience of the bank in Kenya offers very good insights for Uganda Cooperative Bank. And maybe just to highlight a few pillars that we can go by as Cooperative Bank of Uganda as we start setting up. Inclusivity as a core value. So Cooperative Bank's model succeed because they deliberately serve those that traditional banks overlook. In Kenya, over 60% of the rural population access financial services through cooperative-linked institutions. Democratic governance and transparency. The principle of one member, one vote creates a governance culture that prioritizes member welfare over profit maximization, regular member meetings, transparent reporting, and community accountability. We can also talk about sustainability through community investment. I think the world today is about sustainability. And unlike traditional banks that extract profits to the distant shareholders, Cooperative Bank reinvests their surpluses back to the community. And the biggest beneficiary of the Cooperative Bank of Kenya is the cooperators, who own 65%. So whatever dividends that are paid, and I'll be talking about a bit about that, 65% goes back to the pockets of the cooperators. Enable technology. Technology is an enabler of access. I think Dr. Muhumuza talked about it. As you start the bank, you need a lot of technology to enable your processes. Digital evolution has been a game changer by using mobile banking, agent networks, and also digital platforms. I think Dr. Muhumuza talked about you getting a loan when you are maybe in Kasese or far-flung areas. Continuous capacity building. I think that's another very critical part that cooperative bank would do, which maybe any conventional bank would not. So the bank will invest in a lot of financial literacy. So for instance, like Kenya, we have a fully-fledged company with about 30 consultants that focuses purely on financial literacy of the cooperative movement. Just keeping on educating and training cooperative members of how to better their financial capacity and how to be better members of the bank. Bridging the finance gap. I think the significance of cooperative banking becomes clear when we examine the financing gaps in our economies. Across East Africa, over 60% of small and medium enterprises cite access to affordable credit as their biggest challenge. Ability to borrow is a big challenge. You could even go to sectors like of the women entrepreneurs who even face bigger challenges. The cooperative bank is able to bridge this gap, not through charity, but thorough understanding of the different types of our customers. They understand that a woman learning a small tailoring business may not have title deeds for collateral, but she has a community that vouches for her integrity. They understand that a group of farmers may not have individual credit histories, but they have decades of successful harvests and strong social products, group lending schemes that leverage on social collateral, seasonal loan products that align with agricultural cycles, and microinsurance products that protect members against unforeseen risks. Maybe highlighting very specifically some of the benefits you are likely to get or you'll get once you have your cooperative bank. It will become a financial banker and a financier to the cooperative societies. The bank will have ability to create cooperative lending products tailored to the cooperatives, their cycles and their circumstances. The bank will also be able to afford pricing models for the various products given the cooperative numbers. Because you have very many cooperatives, if the members are, or the cooperative members are taking a product, the bank then is able to come up with a pricing model that can suit those cooperatives. Promote cooperative business growth and sustainability, because a cooperative bank will understand cooperatives more than anybody else can. Funding and donor agency, government, or even government to finance cooperatives through a cooperative bank. So even a multilateral agency or government wants to fund cooperatives, they can do it very easily through the cooperative bank. Dividend payments annually. I'll give you an example of Cooperative Bank of Kenya. When majority of the cooperators bought shares in the Cooperative Bank of Kenya, the value of the share was 1 shilling. Tuko pamoja? Are we together? 1 shilling. That is the value that's the money that the members of cooperatives spend to buy 1 share. Now, that 1 share is worth 20 shillings today. So basically, what you bought, you are worth 20 shillings, 20 times more. Today, Cooperative Bank every year pays Kenya shillings 1 shillings and 50 cents per year. So you get your investment and a half every year. You keep your investment at 20 shillings and you continue keeping your. So it's like going, maybe we use a simple example. I don't know whether here you like land. In Kenya we do like a lot of land. You go buy a piece of land for 1 million shillings. Every year you sell it for 1.5 million shillings and you still keep the land. Yeah? We are together. And at the end of the day, that land is not even worth 1 shillings and 50 cents. It's worth 20 times that value. So you can see the value that has been created out of this resilient by the cooperative societies. As I finish, I think it's good just to quickly give some few recommendations. I think it's good we strengthen the foundation under the cooperatives here, ensure the governance structures are robust from day one, invest heavily in training board members and management in cooperative principles and modern day banking practices, because this is the strongest buildings that will sustain the business today and into the future. Embrace technology early. Technology is making things very easy. It's making things very quick. It's making things very less costly. So quick adoption of technology will then help the business move faster. Focus on financial inclusion. Make deliberate efforts to serve women, youth, and marginalized communities. Create products specifically designed for their needs and circumstances. True success will be measured not by the size of your largest loans, but by the number of first-time borrowers that you serve. Build regional partnerships. Learn from and collaborate with cooperative banks across East Africa. Share best practices. So we say, do not reinvent the wheel. Some people have been ahead of you. They have been successful. Learn some of the mistakes they did so that you don't make them. I think that way you'll move faster. Invest in your members. Make financial literacy and business development services and offerings very, very palatable to your members. Educate members to become successful borrowers and to make sure that they are paying back their loans. As we look forward, we must remember that cooperative banking is not just about moving money, it's about moving society towards greater equity, sustainability, and prosperity. The Sustainable Development Goals cannot be achieved without institutions like cooperative banks that deliberately serve the excluded and the marginalized. Climate change cannot be addressed without financing mechanisms that help smallholder farmers adopt and build resilience. Greater equality cannot be achieved without financial institutions that actively promote women empowerment across the board. Distinguished participants, as we prepare to leave this conference and return to our respective responsibilities, I challenge each one of us to carry the cooperative spirit in our hearts and hands. To policymakers, create regulatory environments that recognize the unique nature and social value of cooperative banks. Support them not because they need protection, but because they need to create the kind of inclusive growth and our nations desperately need. To cooperative leaders here today, embrace professionalism without losing your cooperative soul. Adopt modern technologies and practices while maintaining your commitment to member service and community development. To the development partners that could be there, recognize that supporting cooperative banks is not just about financial sector development, it's about building institutions that align with your goals of poverty reduction, gender equality, and sustainable development. To the media, tell the stories of transformation that cooperative banking makes possible. Help our communities understand that these are not just banks, they are vehicles of empowerment and agents of change. To every participant here today, you have the power to be a champion of cooperation in your sphere of influence. Whether you return to the government office, to a university lecture hall, a development organization, or a cooperative society, you can plant seeds of cooperation that will grow into forests of prosperity. I think as a region, we envision a region where financial inclusion is not a policy goal, but a lived reality, where economic growth is not concentrated in capital cities, but shared across rural and urban areas alike. Uganda National Cooperative Bank is not just another financial institution being launched, It's a beacon of hope for millions who have been told they don't qualify for the formal financial system. It is proof that when we come together with common purpose and shared values, we can create institutions that serve not just today's needs, but tomorrow's possibilities. When cooperatives thrive, communities thrive. When communities thrive, nations prosper. And when nations prosper, through cooperation, we create a better world for all of us. Thank you very much, and may the cooperative spirit continue to guide us towards shared prosperity and inclusive growth. Wembale nyo.
Webale. Mr. Patrick Nyaga. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for the knowledge that you have shared with us this morning. Today seems like it's a classroom for all of us. Learning, relearning, and learning again. Surely this National Cooperative Bank cannot fail. With all these brains surrounding us, this bank cannot fail. So we appreciate you so much, and the steering committee that is in charge of ensuring that this bank takes off, we need to keep these brains near us so that we can learn from them and ensure that our bank takes off. Today, what we are going to launch is actually a national cooperative savings and credit society limited. That is where we are going to begin from. And then later on, we shall graduate into a national cooperative bank. Those are the steps that we are going to take. And in this journey, we are also working together with the Bank of Uganda, which is the regulator and the supervisor of the rest of the banks. We were supposed to be with the deputy governor, but he has sent a representative who is the director bank supervision, who is going to give us some remarks on this cooperative financing and also guide us on how best we can walk this journey. If we all remember, in 1999, that was in the month of May, the same BOU liquidated our cooperative bank. Then, issues of inadequate capitalization, issues of bad governance, but we are here back again. So this time we want to work with the Bank of Uganda to ensure that we do things the right way. So Director, Bank Supervision, BOU, you are welcome to give us your remarks. Let's welcome him.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. I greet all of you. Before I go into the speech, I want to introduce myself. My name is Make Aomu. I'm Director in charge of Bank Supervision and the docket where all this discussion lies. So when you want to become a bank to submit the application, it will come to my office. I'll be the one to look at it. I also want to tell you that I was part of the team. I was in the front line in 1999 when the other old bank went down. And the MC has attempted to mention a few things. And many have come out through Fred's speech and also through Patrick's speech. Because one of the big ones was that the members refused to pay the loans. So when you refuse to pay the loan is called now non-performing. When the loan is non-performing, the regulations require you to make provisions. So when you make provisions, it's like booking expenses which eat away the capital. So you become insolvent. You'll also be illiquid. You'll not have liquidity, because if members are not paying the loans, there will be no liquidity. So the other members cannot benefit from, cannot access their savings. So this is a journey we want to be part of. We want to work closely with you. And we know that the potential is quite big, as you will see in the few remarks. So what I will plan to do, I want to first bring out the governor's speech, deputy governor's speech, verbatim, because I cannot change anything from what he has prepared. But because I'm the one on the front line, I will be able to chip in some other issues based on what is happening now and where we think we should be going to. So initially it was supposed to be a keynote address, but both the governor and the deputy governor caught up in other responsibilities. So, but Professor Augustus Nwagaba agreed to come and speak here, and he asked me to represent him to deliver his address. So I'm first going to deliver the address, then at the side I'll talk with you other issues that I think are important. So as it was organized, I know that His Excellency was supposed to be here. So his speech has recognized His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda in absentia, Chairman and members of Board of Directors of Uganda Cooperative Alliance. Our distinguished guests, I want to recognize Professor Fred Muhumsa and Patrick from CIC. Development partners present, I have seen faces around. Leaders of the cooperatives or leaders of SACCOs, the cooperators, Uganda cooperators. I'm so excited to see you turn up in a good number, and like I said, there's some information which I know about what's going on around. So, ladies and gentlemen, I greet all of you. And now I go to the Deputy Governor's speech, Professor Augustus Nwagaba. It's a great honor to address this esteemed gathering of cooperators at a time when the world is seeking bold, inclusive, and sustainable solutions to the challenges of poverty and income inequality. Today's conference theme, which is driving inclusive and sustainable livelihoods through cooperatives for a better world, could not be any more timely or relevant than clearly it is. So first, I want to talk about the role of cooperatives in the Uganda's socio-economic transformation. We know that cooperative societies are more than just a legal entity, not just collections of individuals, but these are vehicles of economic empowerment, pillars of community resilience, and engines of inclusive growth. In Uganda, the cooperative movement has a long and profound history that we're all proud about, dating back to pre-independence period. Most of the early cooperative societies were established to support marketing of produce and export communities. Over the years, cooperatives have witnessed remarkable growth, with the number of registered societies increasing from 10,746 in 2011 to over 30,000 today, many of which are savings and credit cooperative societies, SACCOs as we know them. This expansion reflects the sector's resilience and its capacity to mobilize resources, extend credit, uplift livelihoods of the members, especially in the rural and underserved areas. Cooperatives continue to contribute to economic growth and employment by supporting entities involved in agricultural value chain and small-scale businesses. Cooperative movements, therefore, embodies a spirit of shared prosperity, where success is measured not just in profits, but in the number of lives that are uplifted. So what's the economic impact of this, and what do we see this in contributing to financial inclusion? As you are aware, Uganda's Vision 2040, as well as the Parish Development Model, underscore the importance of inclusive economic growth through support of entities that remain outside the money economy. Cooperatives have continued to play a pivotal role in complementing the government's efforts to achieve the vision of helping to bridge the gap between the formal and informal sectors. Through these cooperative societies, millions of Ugandans have gained access to financial services, enabling them to invest in agriculture, education, health, and small enterprises. Access to financial services provided by SACCOs and other cooperatives remains a strong pillar for enhancing the level of financial inclusion and providing a firm foundation for sustainable economic growth and development. You will also note that Bank of Uganda, initially we were talking about monetary policy, price stability, sound financial institutions. But when we revised the strategic plan in 2022, we added that all this we do is in support of socio-economic transformation. And within the bank, we have a whole division dedicated for financial inclusion, but we also know that financial inclusion will be driven through the payment space. And so we've got a department. You remember, mobile money took long to be regulated, but now we have institutions which are licensed to offer mobile money, including MTN, Airtel, and others, as well as others who they call, who sit in between. They connect the banks and other financial service providers. All these are now licensing and operating well. So in terms of policy reforms and strategic innovation, we need to acknowledge these strengths. And the bank indeed has taken reforms to enhance cooperative sector effectiveness through amending the relevant laws that allow SACCOs to offer agent banking. This came out in Patrick's speech. SACCOs should be able to recruit agents. Agents take services closer to the people. Just my experience over one of the weekends, I stay in a place called Kungu, that side of Kampala, and over the weekends, it was even a Sunday, I wanted some financial services. I just drove to the nearest point. I was able to get all that I wanted through an agent. I paid my taxes and also got some money out. So this is important, what the bank has done. We have also introduced Islamic banking. And as we speak, there's one fully-fledged Islamic bank, Salam Bank, which is now supervised by the central bank. Then we talk about insurance, bank assurance services. So as we speak, we have expanded the category of registered financial institutions to include SACCOs. And successfully, 3 SACCOs have been brought under regulation. Later on, I'll talk about why it's important to be under regulation. And this includes EBO Cooperative Society and EBO Cooperative Savings and Credit Society. It also Chansanga, Microfinance Cooperatives, and we have MADFA. These are already under the purview of the central bank, and we're already beginning to receive financial returns from them. I will squeeze time to talk about why this is important. So these innovations are designed to expand services outreach, strengthen institutional governance, to build public confidence in SACCOs as providers of financial services, and to enhance the level of financial inclusion. However, financial inclusion alone is not sufficient to drive economic growth. Development, it must therefore collectively ensure our activities are not only economically viable, but also socially and environmentally responsible. Patrick touched on this, and I think Fred did so, to guarantee sustainability for the benefit of our future generations. So, about digital transformation and sustainability, the emergence of digital payment systems, which I mentioned earlier, including mobile money, has transformed the way we communicate and transact. These digital systems are a welcome innovation that enhances access and usage of financial services. We should all embrace these services because they offer enormous benefits, convenience, and it saves a lot of costs. Your Excellency in absentia, and we want to know that digitalization is no longer an optional choice, but an essential component of our lives. I take this opportunity to encourage cooperatives to embrace mobile platforms, fintech partnerships, data-driven solutions to improve efficiency and outreach. However, we must all recognize that there are risks as we take all these steps, and we must protect ourselves against these risks and digital services. The cyber issues and all this, it's therefore important that cybersecurity, cooperative providing digital service providers is thorough and robust, with good IT systems and controls and business continuity plans. Furthermore, cooperatives should guide the members to invest in climate resilient and environmentally sustainable businesses. As you are well aware, Uganda faces increasing climate risks, and cooperative societies have a role to play, promotion of green finance and sustainable practices. So towards the end, there's a call of action here, ladies and gentlemen. The journey to a better world begins with a shared responsibility. The strength of cooperative lies in unity, shared purpose, collective actions. We want to emphasize 4 areas for your consideration in the interventions. recognize the youth and women empowerment through cooperative leadership, invest in capacity building and governance, leverage on technology to expand reach and impact, foster partnerships across sectors and across borders. These have already come out in the previous two speakers. Therefore, we would like to urge all stakeholders and the government development partners and new members or the cooperators that we need the private sector to work together and build more inclusive, equitable, and resilient solutions. So, by way of conclusion from the Deputy Governor, it says, in conclusion, I salute dedication of all cooperative leaders and members at this 2025 National Cooperative Conference. Your work and vision are inspiring. Bank of Uganda reaffirms its commitment to supporting cooperative movement. Together, we can evolve the cooperative model to meet the challenges of our time, unlock its full potential for inclusive and sustainable development of this country. May this conference be a catalyst for further transformation of cooperatives and the process of to progress Uganda's economy as we move to a money economy. I thank you all. May the Almighty God bless you, and may God bless Uganda. So that is from Professor Justus Nwagaba. And so I talked about a bank which was there, 99, and the problems that it faced. So we really need to be careful but this has come out from Professor Fred Muhumusa. It has also come out from Patrick. So the bank has provided an enabling environment, a Bank of Uganda, in terms of the different tiers. Tier 1 is what we call commercial banks. The capital requirement is 150 billion. Those are now 22. Then there's tier 2, where you can use the word bank. Actually, the bank can come in straight to tier 2 as a bank, and the capital requirement is 25 billion. Then we have MDIs, micro deposit taking institutions, where the capital requirement is only 5 billion. But what we have seen in other jurisdictions, I visited Malawi, we know that the statistics we have indicates that there are about over 90 SACCOs that meet the requirements which came out in the amendment of the law, meaning having capital of 1.5 billion, no, 500 million, and having voluntary member savings of 1.5 billion. There are over 90 institutions. So as we speak, we have received about 10 applications. We have licensed 3, 8 are in pipeline. And that is a discussion maybe of another day. But in Malawi, like Kenya, it has happened in Kenya, there has to be some kind of amalgamations or mergers. So indeed, these SACCOs now, the 91st I'm talking about, can pool resources and have these banks and be the shareholders in this big bank. But the question that will be is, you, the 90, under what legal framework are you operating? So in Malawi, they have 3 tiers. Indeed, like in Uganda, you go to the Uganda Cooperative Alliance, Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, the Register of Cooperatives. So that's the first step. You must be registered as a cooperative. In Malawi, what UMRA would be doing is the second step. So that does like nurturing, teaching you, training you how to do financial reporting and all these things. And then so you graduate from there, then you come into the central bank. So, but this is a discussion I know of another day. Today we are all happy that they were hatching a new baby, cooperative bank, to replace the one which is good to produce, because if you don't produce, then succession becomes a problem. Now we know that even if the other one went to deal with the heavens, something else will come. But there are many advantages which Fred has touched on and Patrick as well. One of them is governance, strengthening governance. So when you come for this license, we want to know who are the shareholders, and you're subjected to a fit and proper test. Have you paid your taxes? Do you have bad loans in the bank? Do you have good banking relationship? Do you stand well in society? Interpol, do you have a policy report which clears you that you don't have any problem? Okay, so those are the simple things that we look at, because we want money to be handled by people who are transparent and self-regulation can be very difficult. That's why companies put governance structures. They put auditors to check checks and balances. Not that there's something wrong. And the central bank gives you free labor. It's your free friend. We just check those things. We are paid by government. We go back and government supports us. And so it's about transparency and risk management, because this business has risks. The loan can go bad. Then the loan goes bad. You don't have liquidity. When you don't have liquidity, when your capital gets eaten up, it becomes a burden to the shareholders. So this business has to be run very well. But I want to bring out 3 things about why this would be good. First is the protection of savings. Much as these are member savings, we need to put an additional layer of savings protection through what we call Deposit Protection Fund. So that will be something to protect the savers, because business has risks and anything can go wrong. If it went wrong, now Deposit Protection Fund refunds up to 10 million, which I believe would cover all the members' voluntary savings in the institution. Then there's what they call Credit Reference Bureau. Now that you'll have clean data, you'll know the history of your members, even the people who are coming to borrow money, they have clean reports. So when you use services of the Credit Reference Bureau, then you have good loans, a clean portfolio. Then you have a stronger governance framework, and you can get money. There are many funders who are willing to give money to organized groups. There are very many. And we get a lot of contacts from the development partners asking us about institutions in Uganda. Where can we put money? So this gives you the legal recognition so that you can attract a lot more funding, not just from government, but also from development partners. And financial reporting is a big one. I don't know, I know we're here, SACCOs. There's something in accounts called a trial balance. Our trial balance is balancing. A trial balance means if you add the debits and the credit 0, meaning every debit has a credit. But if you have credits which don't have debits, or debits which you don't have, then there's something. So this is some of the free training that you get from the central bank. We help you to organize your books. And when we licensed the first SACCO, we gave them a grace period of 6 months to organize their books. And we kept on going to them back and forth and checking. And then we have a system for reporting. This is what Fred Muhumsa, professor, talked about, digitizing. And now they're able to submit information electronically. We also go out to train them, to help them so that the reporting and financial reporting indeed is, we work with the UCA, and I've written to UCA a number of times. Maybe we have not met, but you have seen my letters. I've invited your members to go with us on talk shows. Went with them. I was with one of them in Ginger and to the other parts of the country. So this is the time of cooperating and working together. And I think that's the message I have. And I don't want to have any controversies. We just want to have proper working arrangement. And I think here I can rest my case so that I give other activities to go on. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Director. Let's give him a better round of applause. Thank you for your words of wisdom. And hopefully, Director, now that you're working with us, the old one collapsed when you were there in BOU. Was it the same department, Director? Director supervision, but I believe by that time you were not yet a director, just a junior officer. Now that you are director, now that he is director, we believe that this one will not collapse. We appreciate you so much, our director. I've been reliably informed that our chief guest is in the corner, so let us prepare to welcome him. But before he comes in, we are going to hear a success story from Wazalendo. They've talked so much about Wazalendo. They really don't need an introduction. We have heard it's the biggest circle in the country. And it's one of the circles and the rest of the unions that have actually made a contribution to the startup capital of our bank. Can we clap for them? Remember, this is our bank as cooperators. The capitalization is from us as cooperators. It's not from GIOYO, Government of Uganda, no. It is us who are contributing to the capitalization of our bank. And Wazalendo Sacco is one of those that have made a contribution. And the rest of you, the unions and the cooperators who have made a contribution, we appreciate you and we urge the rest. You've heard from Director. If you want to be a bank, how much billions? 50. 150 billion shillings. So we cannot yet be a bank right now until we have raised that capital, and it has to come from us, the cooperators. Wazalendo Sacco, come and share with us, Muchikola Mutia, how do you manage to be the best Sacco in this country?
Our hosts this morning, the Chairman Board of Directors of UCA and all your members, the Secretary General of UCA, my brother Ivan Asimwe, and your entire management team, our presenters and senior leaders, the director in the Bank of Uganda, Professor Mhumza, and Mr. Patrick Nyaga from Kenya, distinguished cooperators, and all of you invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me begin by introducing myself for the sake of those, I believe, very few who do not know me. I'm Lieutenant General Sam Kavuma. I'm here in my capacity as the chairman of the board of directors of Wazalendo Sacco. Before I move forward, I want in 1 second to introduce the team that works with me and that are here. One of them is Colonel Alan Chitanda, who happens to be my deputy. The other one is Colonel Buha, our now CEO. And we have our legal officer, the Colonel is there in civilian. And our media person, Madame Charity, I think she must be somewhere here. I don't have a PowerPoint presentation. It is not actually my habit to use it because of the reasons best known to me. There are about three. One is, imagine I came from Somalia to come and attend this conference. And when I stand here to address you, when I'm using a PowerPoint presentation, majority of you would concentrate on the slides, not on me. That would be very, very unfair for me. Flying from Somalia to come and talk to people, but people don't concentrate on you, they concentrate on... that is one of the reasons why I don't use PowerPoint presentation. But number two is because people tend to concentrate on the slides, they want to take notes. And you know how fast slides move. When the number one slide comes on the screen, you write the heading. By the time you are on the third, it has changed. The other one comes, you again, it has changed. So if you go back home, you cannot read your own notes because of that problem. Then number three reason is slides go with the brain. The brain follows the slides. As they come, your brain also... So for those few reasons, I don't normally want to use the PowerPoint presentation. I've been given a topic, but with very, very few minutes. I'm given only 20 minutes. And normally for those I have interacted with, I normally speak for a minimum of 3 hours. And 3 hours has got 180 minutes. So out of those, I've been given only 20. So I'm going to be very, 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 very brief. Now the topic is that I tell you the success story of Wazalendo Sacco, but also in cooperative financing. That is my simple assignment. But I want to thank you, our hosts. I want to thank you, UCA, both board and management, for having organized this wonderful, wonderful conference. It's a good one. We operate independently, but when we come here collectively, we learn a lot, we pick a lot, we learn from one another, and so I really salute you and appreciate you for having organized this conference. What is Wazalendo Sacco? Briefly, this is a circle that was formed 20 years ago. Actually, we have made 20 years, 2005. That's when this circle was formed. The circle, the membership, is picked from members of Uganda People's Defense Forces, their families, and a few civilians that work with the Ministry of Defense. That is the composition of the membership of Wazalendo Sacco. Why was it started? We were working, we were earning salaries. Did we really need a Sacco? The answer is yes, because yes, we were working, but the money we were earning was not able to balance our needs, to solve our issues. And therefore, we tried to go to these commercial banks which are here, but by the nature of commercial banks, as you all know, they are business banks. So we ended up actually working for those banks. So we did not benefit. Therefore, we decided as an organization to form our own bank or Sacco. So 20 years ago, that's what happened. What do we call success? When you are asking me to take you through the success story, how do we define success? We use indicators. We use indicators to determine whether there is success or not. Now, one of the indicators that shows that actually we have succeeded in this long journey of 20 years is our membership currently. 20 years ago, when the circle was formed, we started with only 30 members, 30 members. But as we speak today, our membership stands at 116,000 members. And for those who know history, our history, UPDF stroke NRA, this is the typical way we do things. If you remember what the commonly known as Tare Sita, you must have heard or read in some literature that those who started the bush were 41 but with 27 guns. But within 5 years, they were able to do what they did. I don't want to go into details. Therefore, even in this circle, we started with 30 members, and here we are talking about a membership of 116,000. So that is a success, and that is a huge achievement. The other indicator is in finances. We did not immediately, when we started, we did not immediately give loans. We started giving out loans because we had to first collect money, enough money to be able to give out loans. So since when we started giving out loans, so far we have disbursed slightly over 3.5 trillion Uganda shillings to our members. For us, our journey, we started with hundreds, millions, billions. Where we are now, for us, we are talking about trillions. So, for us who doubt that we are not the biggest circle, we shall compare. If you are still in hundreds, in thousands, in millions, in billions, for us we are now in trillions. I don't know the next name. Our status, the asset, our assets now stand at 1.2 trillion Uganda shillings. I don't want to go into other indicators. We normally produce reports every year. You'll find them there. But the question here is how. I think that is what is important. What is important is not the billions we have, the whatever, but how have we gotten there is, I think, what is important. Number one, we had to do all we could to win over the hearts and minds of our members to believe in savings. As you are aware, Ugandans, Africans are poor in savings. We consume as we earn. That has been the practice. When you ask someone to save, they will tell you, if what I get is not enough to solve my problems, then how do you ask me to save? Where will I get the money to save? But they don't know, even if they keep that small salary of theirs without saving even a coin, still that money will not solve all their problems. They don't know that. So one of our biggest achievements was to make sure we convince through mobilization, through sensitization, through training, not through order. By the way, you've been misunderstanding us. You think our members are forced to join. No, not at all. That's why we started with 30, we came to 60, 20, what, up to where we are. Ours is sensitization, mobilization, training, awareness, making sure that people see the benefits in coming together. You can never afford when you are alone, but collectively you can achieve. So that was our number one achievement, winning over the hearts and minds of our people, of our members, to believe in savings for today and for tomorrow. Now, when you come to the financing, cooperative financing, how do we do it? And this is very, very, very important. And I had here Professor Muhumuza. He touched on it. He said, you are here preparing to open a cooperative bank, but I don't want to hear you asking government to put money, because this has been a big problem to many circles. Now, for me, I came up with a philosophy that says like this: any circle that wants to succeed, any successful circle must go through 5 very important principles. If you own a circle here, if you belong to a circle, if you belong to a cooperative, if you want it to succeed, you must go through these 5 principles. Principle number 1, it must be member formed. The idea of forming a circle or a cooperative must come from you, the members, not forced. We are in an election. I forgot to address my colleague, Honorable Member of Parliament here. I happen to be a Member of Parliament also, representing UPDF. This is the season where many circles are formed. This is the right season for Ugandans to form circles. Why? They are targeting politicians' money. Now, if you ever form a circle that you are targeting someone else's money, then that circle will not live to see tomorrow. Therefore, for us, that's principle number 1. Principle number 1, the idea of creating a circle must come from you. Not to go and form a circle when we can. No. It must come from you. So, member formed. Number 2 principle, it must be, a successful circle must be member owned. It is your circle. It does not belong to the chairman. It does not belong to the manager. It is your circle. It is your cooperative. Some members belong to circles, but they don't know what is happening there. Where is your thing? But what is in your thing? Yet he's a member. My thing, it is our thing. It is our circle. Number 3 principle, it must be member financed. That is what Dr. Muhumuza did say here. It must be member financed. Every penny, every coin that drops in your circle, in your cooperative, in this bank we are going to create, must come from us, members. Never ever put a circle that it will be financed by other people. Who? The moment you do that, then you lose ownership, you lose everything. So that's what we've been doing. As I have told you, the Wazalendo Sacco is a UPDF Sacco. The commanding chief of UPDF is the president of this country. And by constitution, by the way, the president is the Minister of Finance, substantively. And you've been seeing him giving money to this, to church that, to this, to Sacco, the other, to what? You have never had him giving us as a UPDF Sacco. As a chairman, I can never do it. Go to the president and say, please, Your Excellency, help us. No. Because once I do that, and my members get to know about it, then the Sacco will collapse. Ownership will collapse. Therefore, number 3, and very important, it must be member financed. If you don't have enough liquidity, you can borrow as a Sacco. As a Sacco, you can borrow. If a good Samaritan finds you along the way and he has his free money to give you, you don't refuse money. You can take, but don't rely on them. So, member financed. And if you want to ask me the factors for our success, it is one of them. The other 4th principle of a successful Sacco, it must be member managed. The idea was yours, you formed it, you own it, all the money that is there is yours, then you must manage it well. Never leave your Sacco to managers, to accountants, to those with is it CPA? Those with CPA, those even if you lack some competencies within your membership, you can hire the competencies, but they must work under you, under your direct supervision. That's when you will be able to succeed. Number last, the principle, the last one. After you have done all the 4, you formed the Sacco. You love it, you own it, you check, you know what happens there. You finance it. You manage it well. Then the final principle, this Sacco must benefit you. It must be member beneficiary as 5th principle. So that is Wazalendo Sacco. If you ask me the success, that is it. That is it. But I have seen a number of Saccos, they want to start with number 5. They want to benefit before they save. Bwenzija wamwe muja kumpa loan iboja yotia. How are you coming there? As a member to first subscribe, or doing that is like, I know all of you came driving. If you put the key and ignite your car and you engage gear number 5, will your car move? Will it move? Certainly not. So if you go to a Sacco, start with number 5, that Sacco, that cooperative will not move. You have to engage gear number 1, forming it, gear number 2, loving it, gear number 3, financing it, gear number 4, managing it. Then now you engage gear number 5 when the vehicle is in 140, 180, 160. That is the secret of a successful Sacco. Now, when we talk of financial inclusion, ladies and gentlemen, cooperators, is only through cooperatives and circles are the only channel that will empower Ugandans to be in that song, financial inclusion. Nowhere else. Because these circles have all types of members. I can give you example of the one of UPDF. I'm a 3-star general, very big. I'm a member of Wazalendo Circle. But we have very, very low people, privates. I always tell people, a private earns 500,000. Even if God was very fair to that private, and he gives him 1,000 years to live, and UPDF also says, since God loves you, who are we? Let us also employ you for that 1,000 years. We can hold it.
General, you can hold it there as we welcome our minister, our dear chief guests, the Honorable Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. Would like to welcome you to the inaugural National Cooperative Conference, where we are celebrating the milestones, the achievements in the cooperative movement in the country. The Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, on behalf of the government of Uganda, has been at the forefront for spearheading the cooperative movement. Honorable Minister, we welcome you so much. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for joining the cooperators as they celebrate the achievements in the cooperative movement. So Honorable would like to start by visiting the cooperators. Would like to start with the exhibition. Okay, fine. Thank you so much, our crane performers. We appreciate you. The Honorable Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, Honorable Francis Mwebesa, you're most welcome to the very first National Cooperative Conference 2025. We appreciate you so much for joining us as we celebrate the achievements in the cooperative movement of Uganda. By the time you joined us, Honorable Minister, we had already started the program, but we are very happy to receive you. The cooperators here from across the entire Uganda are really, really excited to have you here today. So let's have the anthems. We remain standing. Let's take our seats. The Honorable Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, Honorable Francis Mwebesa. Once again, we want to welcome you to the National Cooperative Conference, the very first one that has been organized by Uganda Cooperative Alliance in partnership with the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives and all the other partners that have supported UCA to ensure that this conference actually happens. Before you, Honorable Minister, are cooperators that have come from all the corners of this country, from all the regions, and what you see here are just representatives. We've been receiving messages of people who are following this program, who are complaining that they haven't been invited. Cooperators are so many, and I don't believe there's a place where we can gather them and they can fit. But the good thing, we're online, we are live on UBC, and many of them are following the discussions from the TV and online platforms. Honorable Minister, when you joined us, we've had quite a number of presentations from different people. We had a presentation from Mr. Patrick Nyaga, all the way from Kenya, who spent 17 years working with the Cooperative Bank of Kenya, who has shared experience and knowledge on how we are going to manage our National Cooperative Bank. As you are aware, Honorable Minister, today we are going to launch the National Cooperative Credit Savings and Credit Society Limited, which is a precursor of the much anticipated National Cooperative Bank. It's been over 20 years since the former National Cooperative Bank was liquidated, but today it's a celebration that we are taking the first step in reviving the National Cooperative Bank. And Honorable Minister, I want to appreciate you because we know that you have been at the forefront of ensuring that we have this bank revived. We appreciate you so much. We had a keynote address from Dr. Fred Muhumuza, a renowned professor from economics, who also shared with us a lot of knowledge on how we are going to ensure that this bank actually survives, that what happened to the old bank does not happen to the bank that we are going to launch today. And by the time you joined us, Honorable Minister, we're receiving a success story from Wazalendo Sacco, the biggest Sacco in our country, as Lieutenant General Kavuma was sharing with us. 1.2 trillion portfolio, the biggest of all the Saccos that we have in this country. So we would like to continue and finish General's sharing of the success story. The Honorable Frederick Ngobi Gume, the State Minister for Cooperatives, we welcome you so much. Let's welcome him. We call him Tata Cooperatives, the father of cooperatives. Ever since I have known Honorable Gume, he has been singing revival of the National Cooperative Bank. Honorable, you are now seeing the fruits of your sweat and all your efforts. Thank you so much for everything that you have done to ensure that the National Cooperative Bank takes off. General, please continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me also add my voice to the Director of Ceremonies to warmly welcome you, Honorable Ministers, for this very, very important conference. And you came in when I was actually towards the conclusion of my few remarks. Now, I was talking about financial inclusion, and I did say, if you want to achieve that, then you must believe in cooperatives and circles. There is no way out, because any other way out, we operate as individuals. But when we cooperate, then that's when, I was giving an example of our soldier, the membership of Wazalendo SAC. We have generals like me, we have middle officers, but also we have the lower ones. I was telling you that the lower, the private, of course, it is also shocking, I may say, to hear that in Uganda, the least paid group, because soldiers are the least paid, soldiers, police officers, and teachers, those are the least paid groups when we talk of salaries. But it is shocking that one of them, their circle, is the biggest. What a controversy. What a controversy. Not only being the biggest here, I don't know whether Patrick Nyanga is still here. Oh, he's here. He knows circles and cooperatives in Kenya. They are the first 6 leading circles in Africa, in the continent called Africa, are from Kenya. And these are Warimu, Teacher Sacco, Sitima, that is electricity, Sacco, Police Sacco, and others. But now, in that line, Wazalendo Sacco, that belongs to the least paid, the most poor people here, is number 7 in the line, in the whole of Africa. And even those, the Kenya Saccos we are competing with, were formed in 70s. They are 30 years older than us, but we are in there. So, but what I was saying, if this private, if God was so kind to this private soldier who earns 500,000 Uganda shillings and gave him a life of 1,000 years, and then UPDF also says, who are we if this poor man has been accepted by God to give him 1,000 years to live? Why don't we also allow him to serve in UPDF for 1,000 years? But continues earning 500,000. I can assure you, this man will live for 1,000, will serve for 1,000, will earn a salary for 1,000 years, but after 1,000 years he will die a poor person. Because not at any given time this man will get 2 million as a lump sum. No. Because when the 500,000 lands on his account, he has already consumed 2 million. So he's already, so therefore it is only the circle that brings this lower person to the level of this one. Because when he knocks off from his 500,000 only 20,000, and I save 100,000, someone else saves 50,000, someone else saves, you are creating a fund. And it is from this fund that this lower person, the one who earns 500,000, can go and borrow 20 million, which would not have gotten in his life and service of 1,000 years. So that is how circles empower people. So if this young man gets 20 million and he goes and invests it in some enterprises and he earns money, then he is financially included. That's what we mean in the money. So therefore, I think cooperatives and circles are here to save our lives. But what I saw the director of ceremonies asking the director in Bank of Uganda what were the causes of the collapse of the old cooperative bank. We need to know. But even if, before he gives us a report, I know one of the causes is, of course, people took loan, money, and they did not pay back. Defaulting. But we need to study what makes someone taking money, knowing that this is a loan, where he has to pay it back, and he ends up defaulting. What is the problem? Have we ever studied that? My simple research is that many Ugandans take loans without proper plans. They don't plan for the loans they take. They don't critically select enterprises where they should invest that money so they get returns. And our success, other factor of success in Wazalendo Sacco has been that we follow our people. Yes, you are taking money, but where are you going to invest it? There are 3 areas I want you to take note of, and then I finish. 1, there are things they call staffs. S-T-U-F-F. You can add S. Staff. Not staff A with an A, but U. I can define this in my own way as things that look good, look nice, attract people's eyes. They are good looking. When someone sees you having some of them, say, ah, he has a wonderful watch. He has a wonderful, these phones are called smartphones. He has a wonderful. They are good, attractive, but they cost a lot of money. They cost a lot of money. And actually, we don't need it for our survival. Those are called staffs. And when you look at our people, many of them invest not only money, circle monies, even any money you get from anywhere. Avoid investing your money in staffs, things that look nice, attract people's eyes, but cost a lot of money, and actually you don't need them for your survival. It's not food, it's not water, it's not a bed. And I have mentioned them, and you know them. Smartphones. iPhone 16 Pro Max. 6 million. It costs 6 million. How many goats can you get out of 6 million? At 200,000. Those are 30. Goats produce twice a year. They produce 1, 2, 3. In 1 year, how many would you have? In 10 years, how many goats will you have? But how many, what will you have out of the Pro Max in a year or 10 years? Negative. So our people must avoid, your people in circles and cooperatives. The other one is liabilities. Our people go for liabilities 24/7. Vehicles, houses to sleep in. You have 3 children, you have a house of 15 bedrooms. What is the cost of your sleep? I know sleep is important, but how can you distribute your sleep in 15 beds? Vehicles, these things that really. Now, the definition for a liability is anything you have, anything you own, anything you put your money in, and it does not bring you any income, is a liability. And if you check in your compounds, if you check in whatever, you will find really liabilities all over. So if we want to be included in finance, in the economy, if you want your family to be okay, please avoid investing your hard and or even stolen, even hard and hard, you know, for those who steal. So liabilities. So please avoid that. Then number 3 is assets. Assets. I can define assets as anything you own, anything you invest your money in that gives you returns. It can be daily, it can be weekly, it can be monthly, it can be quarterly, it can be annually. But anything that gives you returns is what we mean by an asset or assets. In the old teaching of economics, for those of you who are old like me, they used to say, to define an asset as something you have, you own. That when time comes for you, when you need money, you can put it on the market and you get money. That was the definition of an asset. But there is a serious businessman who has been actually a pattern of the current president of the United States. Trump, Excellency Trump, his business partner is a Japanese, the author of the book Poor Dad, Rich Dad, Richard Kawasaki, something like that. He refused that definition. He said if you buy a car today at 30 million, and then you keep on putting fuel, then the Bakora steering those things, then you repair, then borders are knocking, then you repair, then services. If you drive that vehicle for 10 years, you would have spent on it about 200 million. But if you need money today, you put it on the market and they give you 80 million. Is that an asset? According to him, that one is a liability. An asset is anything you own, anything you invest your money in, and it begins giving you more money, more returns. So for any cooperative, therefore, and to avoid the collapse of this new baby we are talking about, because this is the reason people borrow money, they don't invest it in enterprises that bring returns so they are able to pay their own bank, they end up going away, defecting. So we need to educate our people, and this has been our biggest investment. We invest in training so that our members get to know. If you get your 10 million, where are you investing it? If you get 100 million, where are you investing it? So I thought I should, now as I conclude, we have future plans, but I want to mention one of them for the benefit of the Director of Ceremonies. She did ask, if I want to join Wazalendo Sacco, how can I join? This is how you can join. In finance, we have two things. We have what we call circles or cooperatives, but we have also what people call investment clubs. The two may have the same objectives, but they're actually different. The strengths of any circle, you cooperators, lies in the numbers. The strength lies there. Whereas the one of an investment club, which is of few people, the strength lies in the financial muscles of the members. You are few, but you are financially okay, but you want to work together. So each one contributes 50 million, 100 million, 20 million, which members of the circles cannot afford. So therefore, now we are moving outside the institution. We are soon opening what we would call partial common bonds. Because for UPDF, we have reached a ceiling, but we want more members because we know the strength lies in members. So now we are coming out to you organizations who wish to serve with us, to work with us, we are coming to you. Institutions which if you think you can work with Wazalendo Sacco, having known who we are now, we are coming to you. Individuals, my sister here, Ivan, you are engaging the beneficiary. My sister, we are opening up to receive civilians. Anybody who wants to serve with us. We are done with UPDF. We cannot afford missing your money and your brains. It's money and brains. So we are coming for you. Please receive us. Now, success does not, as I did say, does not stop at giving out people billions, what. We have followed up, our people, and now some of our members are in different ventures. Others are in manufacturing. Members of Wazalendo Sacco are in manufacturing. Others are in farming. Others are in service industry. Others are in innovations. So we are everywhere. And therefore, we are part of the growth of this economy. Now, finally, coming to the bank. I don't know, Ivan, I'm coming now to Cooperative Bank, opening Cooperative Bank. I don't know why it is difficult for some cooperatives to understand. Because all of us, in our individual circles and cooperatives, we are already banks. Like, for example, as Wazalendo Sacco, we are a bank. In our actions, because we have 19 branches, they have cash money, they receive money from our clients, they lend money to our clients, they do whatever banks do. So what we are talking about here is to consolidate all these banks we have and have one bank, so that we can share technologies, we can share, we can support one another, we can benefit together as cooperators. So having a bank is not a big deal, and I want to assure you, the board of UCA and the management, as Wazalendo Sacco, we commit to continue supporting you. We commit to be part of the first 10 members of this bank, and we need to start. There is a song in one of in the hymn books, but I know it in my language, in Nyankole. They say, I think there was a call, this Barokole, there was a call for people to get saved and go to heaven. Then someone sang, saying that Imabaru kweziringa twabatsiga baru kweziringa twabatsiga nituzo mwiguru. Now, literally translated as, since there is a call to go to heaven, and for those who are making delaying tactics, for us, we are not going to wait for you. We are going, you'll find us there. So for those circles and cooperatives who are delaying, leave us, who are ready to go to the bank, you'll find us there. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Let's give him another round of applause for those words of wisdom that he has shared with us. A general has really said a lot. And the Muzungu says a word to the wise is sufficient. So I am not going to add anything to what he has shared. And that very last song that he sang, I think I'm also joining you, General, to go to heaven. My neighbor there was convincing me that, no, don't worry, you just get married to a soldier. Then you will join Wazalendo Sacco. But thank you, General, you have clarified. Me, I fear soldiers. Let me be where I am. So thank you so much. Briefly, we are going to hear from Mr. Ferdinand Tumuhaise, the Senior Associate, Kampala Associated Advocates, and is going to share with us on the policy and regulatory reforms, the legal framework for cooperative growth. We all know that there are a number of legal reforms that have taken place in the cooperative movement. And for cooperatives to thrive, we need that legal framework that supports the growth of cooperatives. So Council Ferdinand Tumuhaise, please come and share with us briefly.
Thank you, and a very good afternoon, everyone. Our chief guest, the Honorable Minister of State, the Honorable Minister, and also your colleague, Honorable Minister, that we have always been interacting with for cooperatives, Tata Cooperatives, as they have mentioned. All protocols observed. I want to say that I had prepared make a presentation, but in the interest of time, I just want to use not more than 5 minutes. Because the things that the moderator is talking about regarding policy reforms are the things that I've been talking about almost every year when I meet you, either the AGM or at a conference like this. I've been presenting before. So many of you have been before Wazalendo, I've been before Exodus, I've been before Walimu. I've been making these presentations. And so I will just make it very brief. But I want to thank the previous speakers, especially Lieutenant General. Thank you very much for the success story. I came in a little bit late, but I found a wonderful presentation about the Kenyan side of the story. That was very, very inspiring. And in regard to Uganda, now my colleague is from Kenya here. For us, the most thing that we have been talking about for the last 4 years with UCA at the forefront is that we are talking about financial services delivered to the members under the model of a circle, but our legal framework is completely disorganized. One is that it creates parallel regulatory bodies, each with the same powers, that you don't know who takes priority. Thank God that we have the representative from Bank of Uganda here. The quagmire we have is that whereas the law gives the mandate to Bank of Uganda that circles which have voluntary savings of 1.5 billion and 500 million in capital, they can be regulated by Bank of Uganda as microfinance deposit-taking institutions. The Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act gives Bank of Uganda supervisory powers which are under prudential regulatory framework. But when you come back, you find that the Register of Cooperatives was empowered in the amendment to the Cooperative Societies Act of 2020 with similar powers that Bank of Uganda would have. In short, Bank of Uganda supervision, if it detects that Wazalendo is not doing well, suppose Wazalendo has a license from there, you can either close it, liquidate it, or even sell it. But the same powers were given to the Register of Cooperatives in 2020 that you can also do the same. So the question is, who is supposed to be ahead of the other? So the song that you see has been singing is that we are having challenges in the way we are regulating circles. We have mentioned all of them, and most of them is because we have different bodies. Bank of Uganda for large circles, UMRA for the smaller circles. But the registrar is also there with a different mandate, exercising the same powers over the same bodies. So the question has been, if registrar takes an action that Bank of Uganda does not believe in, who takes the day? I have heard that now we have had, how many circles you said that have come to the fore of Bank of Uganda? 3. But the way we understand is that actually they had to really kind of convert into MDIs, not to retain their circle character, because under the cooperative movement, okay, so if they have retained their character, again, you have mentioned that you have 90 circles, which should be under BOU regulation, but still they haven't received their licenses. The challenge that I wanted to point out, and which clearly that comes out that has created all these problems, is that whereas the Bank of Uganda is given a mandate under the Tier 4 Microfinance and Money Lenders Act to also regulate SACCOs, which have 1.5 billion in voluntary savings, the law did not amend the MDI Act appropriately. Why? Under Section 3 of the Microfinance and Deposit-Taking Institutions Act, it applies to only financial institutions which are defined as companies. When they were amending the act under the Tier 4 under the Tier 4 Act of 2016, they never amended Section 3. So which means the way the act is now, even if other clauses have been made to apply to SACCOs, the application of the act does not go there. In 2022, Ministry of Finance, they got Parliament to amend that law and say, let us now amend Section 3 to define a financial institution there, a microfinance deposit-taking institution, to be both a company as well as a registered society. Didn't Parliament chase you and say no? Let SACCOs be regulated under one body. We cannot take SACCOs into, actually now it is such a form, go here, go there, go there. So in light of that, UCA has been spearheading a campaign that we need an amendment of the law with clear regulatory governance framework. We had actually, I think, had a consultative meeting where we had agreed that we should have one body like the Kenyan Friends of Mine. You have SASA, is there, so that in this body, every stakeholder is represented. Not having one body with its own powers, you got another body, you got another body. So that is the reform that has been at the helm of UCA's mandate. And I want to thank in a special way the members of KUSKU. I don't know if they are here. They are the ones who started to point out that. I want also to thank members of Exodus SACCO, the members of Wazarendo. They have been really intentional about amending this law. So what I would have presented in detail all these contradictions in the law. But because of time, what I want to inform you is that UCA, together with a number of cooperatives, including the unions of Ukusku, the SACCOs of Wazarendo, Exodus, there are so many others, we are taking the mantle, assisted by compassionate advocates, to make sure that we amend the law and have SACCOs properly regulated. That's what I wanted to inform you. And in this respect, I am aware that Honorable Megade has already tabled the bill in Parliament. We have already reached out to the Speaker of Parliament. We are very intentional, and we shall push and continue to, I think, UCA, we have agreed they are going to organize another national consultative meeting on this issue so that resolutions are clearly made. So, Honorable Minister, for us as cooperatives, we have said this law governing SACCOs is parallel, it cannot operate properly. So we are saying we want it amended. So when we come to your office, including Tata Cooperatives, Honorable Minister, we need your support. Let's amend this law. The other point I wanted to talk about, in regard to the reforms that UCA is spearheading, is in regard to arbitration. We have seen a precedent where SACCOs are being mismanaged, and all of them, not only SACCOs, cooperatives, people are running to courts. Yet the law is saying, matters of cooperatives, remember the cooperative principles, the 7, you handle through it arbitration process. But most of them are not doing it. And one of them is because the law does not have clear procedures regarding arbitration processes, including appeals which are heard by UCA. So it is something that UCA will be taking on. The other one, Honorable Minister, I wanted to bring to your attention is the issue of taxation. If I remember well, Wazarendo had pushed very much in regard to a clear taxation exemption for SACCOs. The current exemption expires in 2 years. Actually, less than 2 years. So where are we going? We are saying SACCOs are, for example, helping people to come out of poverty. But if we do not have a clear taxation mandate, especially tax holiday, it means even the little people are saving is going to be taken away through a form of taxes. So we are saying, let SACCOs be granted a clear tax exemption. And UCA, together with compassionate advocates, we are spearheading that movement and the stakeholders to make sure that that exemption is granted. Reason being that the exemption, we don't want it only for SACCOs. We want it for all cooperatives. Why? If SACCOs are exempt, in Uganda, when you are dealing in agricultural products, majority of them are tax exempt. How about for us border riders? We have our cooperative as border what? So why should we be taxed, yet we are all aiming to the same thing of poverty, alleviation, socio-economic empowerment of the people? So we are saying that the way cooperatives work, they should be under a framework that should grant them a certain tax exemption. The details we'll be discussing at various meetings, and then we shall be informing you accordingly. But finally, the other reform that we are trying to use as UCA, supported by KA, is that Honorable Minister, we can no longer be dealing with the PO box. We are in the digital era. We need a clear legal framework that someone from Guru, where is Mr. Orar Bernard, should not travel to Kampala to register a resolution because it requires the registrar. URSB has decentralized the things, everything is online. Why can't we have it for, why should people travel all the way to come to Kampala? In short, the Constitutional Court has actually held that the powers vested on the Register of Cooperatives are so huge that he may not properly exercise them, and thereby violating the member autonomy principle of cooperatives. So we are saying, why don't you enter the digital era? Give us, like we have IMS with the Ministry of Finance, we have OBRIS, we have online solutions for members. Register, get a certificate without going through, coming to Kampala, getting this and that one. So those are the 4 points that UCA is focusing on in regard to legal framework and reform. 1, we want the law on the SACCOs properly amended. 2, we want SACCOs and cooperatives to be given a clear tax exemption or tax relief. And 3, we are pushing for the digital transformation of the ministry and especially the registry in regard to that. So with all those few words, I think my 5 minutes are over. We shall be informing you at an appropriate time when we push forward with these amendments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Council. We appreciate you. I don't know whether that legal language is understood by my brothers from Karamoja, Bukedi, UCA. You may need to interpret some of these things concerning the legal framework to the cooperators. But we appreciate you so much. And as an officer from the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, I would like to inform you that we have already embarked on the journey to digitize our processes. We have a system that we are rolling out. We've been doing training of cooperators on how to do this online registration. So if we haven't yet come to you, very soon we are going to come and do the capacity building. We understand that we are in the digital era, so we all have to embrace that. And later on, we shall have a presentation from Paul Chwanuka, the CEO, Wakandi Uganda, who will be speaking to us about issues of digitization in the cooperative movement. The Honorable Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, on the matters of capacity building in cooperatives, I would like to inform you that we've been working with Makerere University Business School in order to build a curriculum or courses in the area of cooperatives, and we have made strides in that area. And on that note, I would like to recognize the presence of the principal of MOBS, Professor Moses Muhwezi. Thank you so much for joining us. And Professor, thank you so much for what you're doing in order to ensure that we take cooperative education to another level. Because currently the institutions that we have in the country are giving certificates and diplomas to people who are going for training in cooperatives. But very soon, we are going to see graduates with bachelor's degrees in cooperative education. And that is spearheaded by MOBS working together with the Ministry of Trade and UCA. So MOBS, thank you so much. We also recognize the presence of our district commercial officers. Please wave to us, the DCOs. These are the foot soldiers who are spearheading cooperative growth at the grassroots when it comes to registration of cooperatives, issues of auditing. Those are the officers who support our cooperatives. Thank you so much for coming. The media fraternity, thank you so much for being here with us. We have a group that is called Be Known Media Group. They are heading the media team that is covering this conference here. Thank you so much for giving us the visibility and the publicity for this conference. We're also with us is the principal of Tororo Cooperative College. Principal, where are you? Cooperative College, yes, you're most welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. So next we are going to hear from Professor Rachel Mindra, who is an associate professor from MOBS, and she's going to speak to us on how we can enhance the training and the skilling for the cooperative growth. Let's welcome Professor Mindra.
Thank you, our Director of Programs. Allow me to, good afternoon, cooperators. Allow me to stand on the protocol that the Director of Programs has shared in recognition of everybody present here. Though I'd like to, in a very special way, recognize my boss, whom I'm representing here, Professor Moses Muhwezi. Without, I may lose my job after here, and Ivan will not be ready to take me up. Thank you, Principal, for accepting to join the movement, and we are really, really proud as Makerere University Business School to be part of this journey of development. Ladies and gentlemen, I have slides, but I'll only focus on 3 in the interest of time, and just to focus on the direction and our commitment as Makerere University Business School in partnership with Uganda Cooperatives Alliance, and also working together with the Moshi Cooperatives University in Tanzania. I was requested to speak on cooperative education, enhancing training and skilling for growth. I recognize all the speakers. I think now I'm bringing some female energy to the room. There's been too much men talking. So let me represent the ladies in the house to add energy on the enabler. Everybody has spoken about the law, the need for finance, membership, the need for good governance, financial management, but what brings all that together is education. The moment the people who are managing, governing, creating the banks, monitoring the banks are not educated or skilled, then there's going to be a problem. We'll still come back here, isn't it? So this is why, as Makerere University Business School, we've come in to join our friends from Tororo Cooperatives College, Chigumba, not to compete, but to work together to bring this conversation to fruition. Why is cooperatives education important? We've spoken about that in the different rooms. We've been gracious that we've been invited to talk about education, education, education. So I just want to say that we are well aligned with the International Cooperative Alliance movement, the UCA strategy that is going to be launched very soon. All these are showing our commitment to this. But most importantly, the National Development Plan and the vision of this country is telling us that education, skilling are very, very important. And one of our strategic directions as Makerere University Business School is to become relevant to policy, but also become relevant to the public and the social transformation journey. So we are being very relevant in moving education to the next level. So all the cooperators in the room, I think you are next customers, isn't it? We are waiting for you. So we're in the process of developing the bachelor's programs, the master's programs, the postgraduate diploma, and also the PhD programs, so that we are ready for you when Tororo College has graduated you, when Chigumba has graduated you. We will welcome you in Makerere University Business School, and the principal is here, very ready to receive you. So why does it matter? We are very aligned, and also we are also benchmarking with our region. If you can see there, Uganda has over 30,000 registered cooperatives, and yet only 35% run professionally. I think that is something we need to think about very deeply. So very, very few, and this came out from the report of our supervisor. So Kenya has proven that circles or cooperatives that embed education and training or any form of skilling has grown in their asset base and their capital. So education is the foundation for sustainability and resilience of our operations. So we'll just move on to where we are headed in terms of cooperatives education. That is slide 6. The pathways for cooperative education. I'm just trying to skip so that we focus on the important things. What we want to focus on, like I've said, is formal education. We need to formalize our cooperatives. We need to build capacity. That means training should be ongoing. And as Makerere University Business School, we are here committed to come and support you in your capacity building, in liaison with Uganda Cooperatives Alliance, to support you in the day-to-day journey. If you're not ready for a degree, we can come to you and participate in the skilling process. Provide you with management, capacity, training in governance, financial management, strategy, bookkeeping, all the things within business and management, innovation and entrepreneurship, resource mobilization. This is where our strength lies as the leading business school in the region. We want to add the arm of research. I know UCA is doing a lot of research, but as a business school and an institution of higher learning, our core is applied research. So we want to become relevant to you. Honorable ministers, we want to inform policy in support of what UCA is doing and all the other arms in terms of applied research. We have talked about digitalizing our operations. We're not going to do that when we are not educated. So our course curriculum is very, very broad and extensive to have all the business, entrepreneurship, management areas in there to support you in the success of your cooperatives. So we have made effort to build partnerships both locally and globally as Makerere University Business School, and one of those is to work with Uganda Cooperatives Alliance and also Moshi Cooperatives University, and also our friends at Tororo College, Chigumba. We're coming to you to join the band for us to be able to move education and training to the next level in this country. So even the people who are establishing the bank, we are part of that journey. I like that General has invited institutions to join Wazalendo. My boss has had, so we shall have a conversation there to be part of the movement in practice, so that we're able to understand as a university what exactly are the needs of a large circle, a middle-sized circle, a small circle, a growing circle, and one that is operating on a particular focused area of establishment. So I will move towards the end. I just wanted to reflect on the success story of Exodus Circle. Statistics show that, and information shows us that one of the things that has led to the growth of Exodus Circle is skilling and education. I want to commend them, and let us learn to pick lessons from success stories. Wazalendo has shared, Exodus has shared, and let us not think they are too big for us to pick the lessons. So we know that Exodus Circle has adopted digital platforms after targeting skilling and has also really enhanced financial literacy, governance training, and we've noted that the growth of membership has moved by 50% because of the impact of education and skilling. So we are not, we are building on facts and gaps that we are seeing in the space of cooperatives as a university. So we want to demonstrate that actually education and skilling works, and it is very important in translating the operations of circles into growth, transformation, and the impact that we are looking for in terms of our operations. So I want to end by saying, what do we need to do as members in the cooperative movement? Those are just statistics to show what has worked in Kenya, in Rwanda, in Tanzania, and the conclusion is that education structure is equal to sustainable development of cooperative movements. So ladies and gentlemen, we're here, we're going to launch our programs, but we need to invest a lot in education. So I'm calling upon the government, represented very well here, to support cooperative education programs. When we come to you to support us, we want you to listen. UCA has been very instrumental in pushing us to develop these programs, and we know that we are going to work together and add very good value to the movement of cooperatives. The cooperatives in the room invest in continuous member training, skilling, and education. I hope that it is going to become law that all the leaders, for starters in the cooperatives, come to MOOBs after Chigumba or after Toro College and undertake a program, an academic program that is accredited by National Council of Higher Education. So I hope that is going to happen. The academia and partners, let's come together to co-develop the curriculum and research arm, and also the development partners in the room begin to think about investing in skilling and education of cooperatives. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I wish you well in the journey of education and skilling of our cooperatives for better sustainability and resilience. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Mindra. Let's appreciate her. Appreciate Professor Mindra. Thank you so much for all the efforts that you have put in. As the cooperative movement, we are very grateful. Now, we are going into the gist of our conference today, and that is the launch itself. The launch of the National Cooperative Savings and Credit Society Limited, which we said it's a precursor of our much awaited National Cooperative Bank. But before we go into the launch, we are going to briefly have a documentary which shows us an overview of the bank, where it started from. So the people in charge, yes, let's have that documentary as we prepare for the launch. Let's look at where we started from, the journey that we have walked up to where we are when we are going to launch this circle that will eventually become a national cooperative bank. Documentary, are we ready? Yes.
Uganda's cooperative movement is marking a historic milestone. The National Cooperative Savings and Credit Society Limited, a fully member-owned financial institution, has opened its doors, restoring a legacy that had been silent for more than 2 decades.
I am very happy that today we are talking about the cooperative bank, which bank was there during our time. I remember during my time with my parents, we used to get a lot of benefits from the cooperative bank. Benefits, for example, my father was a farmer, and being a farmer, you know, with the current banks, the commercial banks, it is now very, very, very difficult for a farmer to access some of the needs. But with the cooperative bank during my time of my parent, My father used to get inputs, used to get money, used to get everything. That's why it really simplified the way of farming is.
During my time when I was a councillor in 1998, and of course we used to have a cooperative bank meant for both cooperators. This is people were for cotton, people were for coffee, and in Teso there used to be meat packers factory. Of course that was a cooperative, and several others like the North Bukedi, the Sebei. Then even in the West we had the Kwetarana.
The original cooperative bank supported farmers, traders and entrepreneurs. Its closure in 1999 left a gap that weakened the cooperative spirit. Today, that gap is being filled again. The rebirth is spearheaded by the Uganda Cooperative Alliance, working with the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, and supported by circles and unions nationwide.
Main role as Uganda Cooperative Alliance is capacity building. We provide capacity building to all types and forms of cooperatives, to all cooperators. And then number 2 is arbitration, that is section 142 of the Cooperative Societies Act, Cap 107, that require that in case of disputes in the cooperatives, then the disputes can be referred to the board of Uganda Cooperative Alliance. And subsection 5 of that section says that in the event that either parties fail to get an arbitrator, then on request of either party, the General Secretary of Uganda Cooperative Alliance shall appoint an arbitrator.
As cooperators, we come together with an aim especially of empowering ourselves using the resources that are within our reach. The cooperative bank is one of the pillars that we want to use to address the gaps in financing. Access to finance is one of the challenges that the cooperative movement faces. So in the past, in the 90s, the cooperative bank existed, but due to various reasons, we saw it collapse. So today, as Uganda Cooperative Alliance, as the cooperative movement in general, we want to revive the cooperative bank. This was an avenue for our cooperators to access affordable and timely finances. The cooperators at that time would access money through the cooperative bank to carry on their different enterprises.
On June 17, 2025, cooperative leaders approved the resolution to create a democratically governed institution with a board of directors, supervisory board, and vetting committee to ensure ethical leadership.
UCA is a creature of the Act of Parliament, and it's the apex body because the law is clear that UCA shall be the apex body for all registered cooperative societies with that mandate. And in addition to our legal mandate, we mobilize resources for the cooperative movement. And that is why today we are even talking about the establishment of the cooperative bank.
I have visited some countries that where commercial banks to finance such projects, then the cooperative bank is there in hand to assist for example, the farmers. I was finding that very few financial institutions want to invest in agriculture. But according to our environment, agriculture is the backbone of this country.
Membership requires proof of registration, a financial commitment form, a board or AGM resolution, and payment of 1 million Uganda shillings in share capital, 10 shares of 100,000 shillings each, plus 100,000 shillings membership fee. The National Cooperative Bank delivers affordable, member-driven financial services to cooperatives, circles, and the general public. It deepens financial inclusion, drives industrialization, promotes community empowerment, creates jobs, builds wealth, and raises household incomes.
And I'm very happy with the government and His Excellency the President that based on the cries, based on the concerns of the cooperators, Cabinet approved the decision that there should be a cooperative bank. Even our law, during the enactment of our law, which is now CAP 107, they were very clear and inserted in a section, which is section 49. Section 49 of the law, CAP 107, says that there shall be a cooperative bank, meaning it's a must. It's already in the law. And then that is part A. Part B, that this bank shall be regulated and supervised by the central bank, which is Bank of Uganda.
Its core objectives include promoting sustainable and affordable financial services, building cooperative capacity beyond financing, serving as a national investment hub for cooperative growth, and acting as a trusted channel for government-led financial inclusion programs. The National Cooperative Bank finances agriculture, manufacturing, transportation, and trade, while investing in infrastructure like storage and processing plants.
This bank is a product of lessons drawn from the past and a commitment to protecting our members' interests in the future.
The vision of the National Cooperative Bank is to establish a model for cooperative banking in Africa, member-owned, democratically run, financially sound, and socially responsible.
This cooperative bank will combine somebody from Cheizova, somebody from Kabale, somebody from Moroto, from Arua, from where we shall be expanding. So it is something that we need to embrace, and as Wazalendo, we have committed ourselves to being shareholders in the cooperative bank.
In those days, was beneficial, and now when it is revived, it will continue to be like it was, because we used to get our farm inputs. That cooperative bank could put inputs, farm inputs, pesticides, these spray pumps, chemicals, the fertilizers well tested. We could go and get them on a loan, so that when you are taking your coffee, the bank slashes away what you have taken.
Uganda's cooperatives are reclaiming their financial future, together building a bank that is inclusive, empowering, and transformative.
Okay, let's appreciate IUCA for that wonderful documentary. So let me take this opportunity to invite our dear chief guest, the Honorable Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, Honorable Francis Mwebesa, to be joined by Tata Cooperatives, Honorable Frederick Ngobigume. Please join him. We are going to launch. We are going into the launch. The steering committee that has been in the kitchen preparing the National Cooperative Bank, please join our chief guests. Yes. The National Steering Committee, please join the Honorable Minister. Our elders, please also join as we launch the National Cooperative Savings and Credit Society Limited that will eventually graduate into the National Cooperative Bank. This is where we are going to have the launch from. Please, our dear chief guests, General Secretary, please lead our honorable ministers here. Yes. Can we push this? Crane performers, please take it down, yes. This is a great milestone in the cooperative movement of Uganda. Yes. So we are briefly going to receive a brief about this National Cooperative Savings and Credit Society Limited from the General Secretary, Uganda Cooperative Alliance, before our chief guest launches. GS, briefly.
Thank you so much, Master of Ceremonies, our Honorable Minister, who is our chief guest, our Honorable Minister in charge of cooperatives, all cooperators, protocol observed. We want to take this opportunity, first of all, to thank His Excellency the President for the passion and the good support that he has given to cooperatives. We want to thank the Cabinet of Uganda that passed the resolution that we should have a cooperative bank. And then, Minister, we also thank you on behalf of the steering committee that immediately when the Cabinet passed this resolution, you gave us the mantle. Members of the steering committee are here. You can wave to the Minister. Honorable Minister, this is the team that you appointed to spearhead this journey, and whatever we have been doing, we have been doing it under your delegation. You are the one who delegated us to do it. We also have a team of elders. Madam Geraldine is here, and Mr. Kahunga, they are here. It's a team, and thank you so much, elders, because you gave us the wisdom. I remember one time we were in the conference room, and Geraldine, you said, we should stop talking. We should start acting. And here, we have acted. So thank you so much. That's a brief. We are ready, Honorable Minister. We want to thank you once again for entrusting us. And as a committee, we have delivered. Thank you so much for giving us the responsibility. Thank you.
So, Honorable Minister, please let's join him. So we are going to cut this and this. Yeah.
Push it in the middle so that the elders can.
They are able to join.
We can push it in front here. Honorable Minister, wait.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Sorry. Yes. Yes. Everyone joins.
Don't fall.
Let me go this side. Okay, this is the moment that we have all been waiting for. It's closed, it's closed. Can we give space to the media? Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Our National Cooperative Savings and Credit Society Limited has been launched. This is a step that we have taken towards having now the National Cooperative Bank. Honorable Minister, we thank you so much. We appreciate you.
first and foremost, I now hand you over the National Cooperative Savings and Credit Society, which eventually becomes the National Cooperative Bank, to you, as I requested that. As you also requested, I can now hand over to you the certificate of registration and the National Savings and Credit Cooperative Society Limited. I hereby that I have this day registered the above named society and its bylaws under the provisions of the section of 6.1 of the Cooperative Societies Act, Cap 107.
This is it now. And we can have.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, congratulations, cooperators. This is our milestone. This is our achievement. Let us celebrate. We have taken the steps. So we are now going to take a group photo. We are going to take a group photo, but we are going to take it from down. They remain up, and then this dummy goes down. Okay. Behind, we can't see you. Do a curve so that we are able to see everyone. Yes. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. We thank each and everyone that has been part of this journey. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, our dear chief guest, representing His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Ministry of Trade. You have been very, very fundamental in this journey. Uganda Cooperative Alliance, we salute you.